Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vibration Creation. How are we all doing tonight? What's going on? Who's here? Say hello, please. Who do we have? Who do we have sitting in the chat? Send me some emojis, send me some hellos, send me some random smashings on the keyboard, some gobbledygook. It means naught to me. Hello, Shotgun Kiss. How you doing? And we got Kelsey. We got Docta. Oh my gosh, everyone's here. We got Rhath. We got MQ. The house gets fuller by the second. How are we all doing? I mean, we've gotten the hellos out of the way, but I want to know what's going on with people. Thank you for the compliment about the shirt. I love it as well. It's really soft. I'm sorry that not everyone gets to experience that, just me, but... Oh, we got a little tiger emoji, very nice, yeah. Beautiful. Row. Row. That's the vibe. Love coming in from Kelsey, bouncing it right back to everybody else. Mama Lisa, how you going? So, here we are. We find ourselves at another Vibration Creation. I don't know about everybody else. I am very excited for this installment. I've listened a little bit to the beat, sorry. I've gotten ahead of everybody there. Sounds really bloody cool. I'm keen as hell to share it with everybody and to see what all of the artists that we have on tonight have to add to the pie, the delicious creativity pie that we will all get to take a tasty slice of very soon, but not too soon. Looks like Mama Lisa's keen to eat the creativity pie. That makes me happy. I would, before we go any further, like to take a bit of a moment here. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that where I am right now is a place that was traditionally cared for by the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. That where I am right now, it is a privilege to be here and unfortunately hasn't come free. People have been living here for tens of thousands of years and in that time managed to maintain this landscape in such an amazing fashion that a whole bunch of other folks came here later on and thought, oh, no one's doing anything here because it was being taken such good care of. And unfortunately, those people were, over the course of a single lifetime, largely displaced from their homes and their culture ignored or erased entirely in some parts, and their humanity degraded by those who happen to have military power at the time. And to this day, the effects of that injustice are still widespread, and I want to encourage everyone to be mindful of that historical context and to consider what role that we all want to play moving forward in our lives and in our culture. Thank you all for being here. It is my absolute pleasure. Do we have any more new arrivals in the chat since our last hello? Oh, thank you, Mama Lisa. We got Docta, we got MQ, we got Kelsey, we got Jake. That's me. We got Mama Lisa, we got Shotgun Kiss hanging out here. We got Rhath, who is both in the chat and also ready to be one of our artists tonight. Who are people here to see? That's what I want to know. Who are you keen for? Let's name some names. Go on. We're here to see Quantum Rhath. I've never heard this name for him before, but I think I can get behind it. You know, connected at multiple points across the universe, simultaneously, in sync. Rhath is here to see Rhath. Hell yeah. Oh, we're all here to see Rhath. Yeah, thank you, Mama Lisa, for feeding that back. And it sounds like Kelsey is here to see her mum. It's beautiful. Hello, Anna Fletcher. Good to have you here. And I could not agree more, MQ. After having seen the Docta himself, after having seen Sikanda perform with yourself and I think maybe a couple of tracks without you. I don't know. Saw them perform at Come Together Festival up in, I believe it was Edendale Community Farm. This is way back, I want to say in May. Really amazing performance, just big cinematic vibes. Really exciting. I'm super keen to see what else comes out of him tonight. So, without any further ado, can I get a thumbs up? Any of our vocalists keen to come on and have a chat for a little while here? If you can give me a thumbs up if you're ready to go, I will bring you on to the digital stream. Hello, Minti.
Yeah.
How you going?
Hello, Jake. How are you? Hello, everybody.
I'm pretty well, thank you. You've gone and gotten an even more gorgeous thing going on with your presentation since I last saw you pre-stream. That is a sick jacket.
Oh, thank you. I thought it was appropriate for Pradeep's beat tonight. And actually, this is a call out to, I'll step aside so you can see it. This here is from State of Oscillation, I believe. Have I got that right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the community art piece that was done up in the back wall. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was, this
That
is
looks
what
so
we
good.
did. We had a whole day of fantastic beats, and we had live art as well. It was wonderful. And when we open up again, we're hoping to have another one. I think it's on the 30th of October, possibly.
That sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next State of Oscillation. The last one was a really wonderful vibe. Like, just, it felt like a little doof
It did, didn't it?
on Smith Street. It was so much
Oh,
fun.
it's happening, and there was just so many people coming in and such a good vibe. So yes. But yeah, so I thought, hello, Lisa, Mama Lisa in the house.
Oh, and Hamilton's there too.
Oh, hello, my cosmic bitch. Yeah, looking forward to tonight, and really, really keen to see what flavor everybody brings, and to see what comes out of it at the end. It's always exciting to sort of learn about other people's processes, and yeah, exciting.
I've got some even more love for your outfit coming in here. Yeah, work it, go.
It's reversible.
Nice.
It is reversible.
Oh, what?
Ready? Okay.
Oh, wow, that's...
In case you just want some like
Nice.
subtle vibes.
Yeah, that's subtle. Still got the lining poking out. The quantum jacket. Careful the quantum Rhath does not steal this jacket from you.
Well, his arms will be too long, so you know.
If the quantum Rhath is ready to pop in for a moment and say hello to everybody, we're bringing him in now. Is that
Yeah,
the jacket
baby!
you're likely to stare? Hey! How you going?
Does it come in black? Does it come in all black?
That's true.
Baby, it can do for you.
Aw.
And while we're at it, if you are ready to go, our dear and faithful Shroom King will bring you in too. Heck yeah, here he is. How
Hey,
you doing?
not bad, man. How was everyone? Smooth sailing, yeah.
Heck yeah. Got the phrenology up in the background.
Flyers up. It's sort of like that Brunswick store, like everyone knows.
Oh,
that
yeah.
one. Yeah.
To explore the human mind.
Yeah, I guess so.
Heck yeah, Shotgun Kiss is ready to rock the cauldron. Shotgun Kiss, what do you reckon is in the cauldron? That's what I want to know. So,
Hey, Jake,
people, we
Jake.
have... Yes, what's up, Minty?
What are you most excited about tonight?
Honestly, I'm equally 25% in every direction excited for each and every one of you. Is that a diplomatic answer?
Very much.
Yes. It's not what you said when you were offline, but anyway.
That's true. I actually said I'm very excited to see everyone except Minty. No, I'm so sorry. That's really mean.
Wow.
Everything is going to be in this cauldron. Heck yeah.
Fucking everything. Is that what I said?
I've been called out. That's a fair call. That's a fair call, Mama Lisa.
Oh, yummy.
Beautiful, but no,
Jameson and lemon.
Oh, heck yeah. But no, I'm very excited. I really like music, as you might have guessed from the fact that I hang around Vibe Union. So, I'm in it. I really want to see how this beat develops, and I'm really keen to see how, which different direction you guys end up taking that vibe lyrically. But also, I feel like I think my brain is a little bit slow today. I don't know, maybe there's some people in the chat who are feeling that as well right now. I've just been just falling asleep all day. So I think words might be a little bit too much for me to process right now. So I may be just going to be flowing musically. This, it's a fugue state, but that's all right. Oh, me too. Quantum Jake. Everything's quantum. It's all happening. Alrighty. So it appears, if we could get a thumbs up from the Doctor himself, from our beautiful producer, the man behind the music, then I will bring you right onto this stream. If we can get a quick thumbs up in the secret behind the scenes world. Welcome to the Doctor. Hello. How are you going?
Splendid.
Good.
I'm quite well over here, thank you very much. There's a lot of ambience going on in your studio now from last we saw.
Oh, right, yeah. I put the lights on. I'll have some disco lights a bit later.
Sick. Looking forward to it.
Just to add to the cinematic effect, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. How are you all feeling leading up to this this vibration creation? Anyone have any stories from today that they want to share about, I don't know, how they've been approaching it, how they've been approaching just, I don't know, anything? What bounces off your brain when I say that?
I'm in a pretty good place for it. I've been writing all day to other things. I think I feel like I've been warming up all day, ready to go.
Oh, awesome.
Same here, yeah. Worked on created my own dance hall beat today, learned how to do that, and that was fun.
Wow.
That was the warm-up.
Cool.
I have not really done much in the sense of creation today. I've had work, but, now that I'm off, I'm ready to kind of go into this.
Yeah, you're ready for it now, hey? After the work, it's the time to play.
A little bit tired, but, had a coffee, I'll be fine.
Nice.
I did see that. I was like, damn, you're going to be on fire.
I need to bring the energy, I feel like this is going to be like an upbeat song, and I want to bring that properly,
I'm doing the opposite. I'm going for whiskey, and I'm going to be behind the beat the whole time.
That was going to go like this.
Famous what are you drinking, right? What's yours?
Mine is a Copper Dog whiskey. My favorite whiskey. Who knows? I'm not very good with.
Delicious.
No, it's actually not. It's got a lot of honey kind of characteristics to it. Not particularly smoky.
Okay. All right.
But look, I'm pretty new to the whiskey world within the last 6 months. All I know is that I like it, and I like drinking a lot of it. That's all I know about it so far. And that I'm not a fan of Johnny Walker. I tried it because I'm just basing my wariness of it solely on its social standing. But no, it's well deserved.
Sounds like we have a bourbon person here as well.
To
each their own. No hate.
That's my next.
So. Hey,
Whatever
Connor,
you need.
how you doing? We got a Connor in the building. Everybody, say hello.
Yo.
What is up, Connor? Mr. Hard R.
So, I think this could be a really splendid time to say hello to Ella, everybody. Hey, Ella.
I love it.
She's even got her hair. She's got her hair done. See the colour? She's got flames in her hair.
Aww.
Amazing.
Just like mommy.
Jake, are you flicking a pen?
I'm fitgeting with a nail clipper. Actually, thanks for calling me out, Ryan. I appreciate that.
That's way louder on this end than it is on your end, I'm sure.
That makes a lot of sense. These headphones are doing the job. So, our hilarious chit chat aside, shall we take a listen to that beat and get moving on this? Let's see what happens.
Sorry.
What are you playing with now?
Stop!
Yes.
I'm gonna have to mute myself, I think.
Just keep your hands
My hands are
away
gonna
from
stay
everything.
here, yeah.
Hands up here.
Fiddle-
Hands up here.
Fiddle with
Done.
something soft. Fiddle
Hey
with
guys.
something soft.
Hi.
Okay.
Find something
I don't think you
soft.
want
Find
me
yourself
to listen to that
Okay.
advice, Minty.
find yourself a nice Q-tip or something that you can just kind of flick in the background.
True. That's good
Right.
advice.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. So,
Orange
shall we
one.
listen to the beat? I
Without
believe
further ado.
initially we could get that coming through from your end, Rye.
It's coming through me. Let's do it. Tell me if you can hear it. We coming through?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Alrighty.
I'm keen to work with that, man. But I like that.
Lapa.
The taste. The taste.
That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun song, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is beautiful. Really fun. We have a question coming in from Shotgun Kiss. I don't believe that we have any words yet.
But nothing.
No, we're
Not
not gonna
sure
add any of them.
That's what we're here
No
for.
words.
Super edgy, no lyrics. You know, that's the
No
edgiest
lyrics.
thing you can do.
Dulcet tones.
Just all percussive.
No, we do have lyrics, but they're all muted, so you can't hear them.
Oh, true. Very experimental. Shotgun
Yeah.
Kiss, not sure if you've tuned into any of our vibration creations before. For the uninitiated, this is a perfect time for us to share a little bit of how these tend to go. Granted, it is an evolving art, day by day and fortnight by fortnight. Basically, we have our talented producer down here each week sends a short loop of the beginnings of a beat out to our artists sometime in the last 24 hours, just so everyone gets to have a little bit of a listen to it, a bit of a feel. And then starting now on this stream, people have a bit of a think, a bit of a chat back and forth about what they're feeling from it, and then vocalists can head off and start writing to it, start recording some stuff, and the Doctor will continue to produce it a little bit as well. And as things start coming together, pieces start falling into place, towards the end of the night, we should have ourselves a juicy creativity pie to bite into.
Delicious pie. Is it
Delicious
blueberry or what?
creativity pie? I'm not sure actually, but I guess we'll find out what
Raspberry.
kind of berries. Maybe it could be a mixture.
We all are. Yeah, I mean, we've got a.
I'd like to throw some mince in there. I'm gonna go vegan. I'm gonna be the vegan mince into this pie.
Vegan, gluten
Blueberry
free.
and vegan mints.
I'm happy with all those things.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Let's eat. I
yeah.
agree.
No comment.
Oh. So, what are we feeling? What are we feeling from this beat, people? Does anyone want to share a little bit of what kind of vibe they're getting off of it? Where they think they might want to take it?
Which way is Minty? Oh, I keep going the same way.
Minty
I believe
is-
Minty
Oh, no.
had some
wow.
thoughts.
Yeah, that's
There we go,
confusing.
this way.
Yeah.
This way?
Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah, so when I had to listen to it, and I immediately had this thought of, and I've been watching this show at the moment, which is it's all bloody post-apocalyptic shit, which feels very, very real at the moment. And I was listening to
show?
the beat, and I just thought cinematic, big. Someone's running, they're trying to escape, and then that's the whole concept of trying to run away from where we're at now and run into the dark, or run away from the darkness, came up. And that was because it's a big sort of theme that came up for me. And that's yeah. And then from there, that's now I will kind of expand on that and see where that takes me.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like it'd be cool to almost sort of like flip it a little bit and have it like you're running away from it, but you're kind of running into it almost like at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe you want to run away from it, but you kind of don't want to at this. So it's almost like this contrasting feeling of like you're doing something that maybe you know you shouldn't be doing, but you still kind of enjoy it. That could be interesting. Yeah.
That's cool. And Rye, what you mentioned something before that was really cool. That was an expansion of the idea of running away from the dark, or running into the dark, or running away from something.
No
Which
idea what I
was?
said, but my new idea is I like what Well, Jim put that word out, so I was running with that. But that push and pull of running away, but feeling like you're not supposed to run away, that's resonating quite strongly with me. Watching conspiracy theories online and trying to tap in and out of politics, I'm not going to go in that direction too obviously. I might do it subtly, but I think I'm feeling that. I'm feeling... Yeah, okay. That's where I'm at now. I wasn't going to go there, but now I'm... Let's do it. Let's break it down.
Unleashed, tapped into. Beautiful. Doctor, how does this all sound to you? Are you surprised to hear the direction that people are taking it so far? Does it kind of make sense to you, or what are your thoughts?
Pleasantly surprised. But,
I like that.
So I think what Minti described about what was the TV show you were watching? Was it Handmaid's Tale?
No, it was Into the Night.
Oh, right.
With lots of people from around the world, they're dying from the sunlight and they're trying to run away. But it just made me think of this COVID shit. So it's like made me think running away from something, but then being torn. Do I want to stay and actually just let this thing happen to me, or do I want to run away from it?
You want COVID to happen? Is that what you're saying?
Extend the lockdown, yeah.
You'll understand if you watch the show. There's like a bit of a push-pull thing going on.
Yeah. I like that push-pull. I think that push-pull dynamic is going to be good.
Nice.
Real quick, between the vocalists here, is anyone feeling a hook? Does anyone have a hook in them that they want to take? Minty, great, done. Minty's got the hook. Minty, you got a hook. That makes that nice and easy. Fantastic.
I'm pretty keen to focus more on like the verses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm feeling like more strongly there. That would be kind of fun. Yeah. What about you, Rhath?
Also happy with whatever, No,
I'm feeling verse as well. So I think Minty hook, verse as well. Minty, obviously, like you do as you wish. But yeah, and we'll focus on our own little rap verses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also keen to just add a few like ad libs in there and stuff like that. Play around with like the vocal range and like sort of just like performance. I'm feeling more like maybe a bit like slower, but like still hard hitting instead of like quick, like on the beat. Yeah.
Cool. If you're going slow, I might go fast.
Yeah, that would be a cool contrast. I feel like that would definitely. Yeah. All right. Beautiful.
Doctor, you got some a few mixing pot things coming your way.
The cauldron is happening.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Boil, and treble.
Well, in that case, it sounds like ideas are pretty much... It sounds like ideas have been shared to a certain point where maybe folks can head off and start developing things solo.
I'm keen.
Into the night.
Our artists may talk a little bit behind the scenes, a little message back and forth to work out what's going on, but for the most part it'll probably just be people developing stuff, and then we'll see how it all comes together towards the end of the night. So if we could all give some waving hand emojis, we're going to say goodbye to our vocalists
also,
for
before
now.
we leave, I feel like, do we have like a title or anything in mind? Like, do you think In the Night?
Oh,
I mean, Into the Night.
We actually had a suggestion. We had a suggestion from Shotgun Kiss in the chat over here.
Lubricating the throat.
Suggesting Taste. Taste as a title.
Ooh.
Taste of the Night. Taste.
Ooh, taste. Just like taste. It's like...
Yeah, I like taste as well.
It doesn't give anything away. And then you're like, oh, what the fuck?
What's it going to be?
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like, That's
some stuff. All right.
I guess
I'm keen for that.
Beautiful.
Let's get on it.
All right.
Alrighty. Well, goodbye to our vocalists. See you in a little while.
Soon.
Boom. Boom. And boom. Way yo. And we may do for a little while here. We've got a little bit of a view of what's going on for our producer here. Doctor, I'm not sure if you can still hear me at the moment. I was thinking maybe we could have a little bit of a chat about what you've arranged so far, or maybe what you're about to do, or we can. Would you like to take us through a little bit of what you've done so far, or maybe where you're thinking you might take it next?
Yeah, look, it's a very simple beat. So I went through a whole bunch of sounds yesterday. I sampled a few records. I went through my big hard disk full of cinematic sounds, and because obviously I haven't this is the first time I'm doing something with Vibe Union and with you guys, so I don't quite know where you're at with your tastes, or what sort of sounds inspire you and stuff. So then I think sometime just around late-ish, maybe around 10 last night, I found this particular sample, and it was interesting because on SBS they were showing all the Godfather movies. I don't know whether you've seen them. Francis Ford Coppola.
I've seen the first one.
You've seen the first one? The second one is the best, my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard that.
My humble opinion. It's got Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and so anyway. But then the film score is just fantastic. It's a beautiful film score for Godfather and Godfather Part 2. And so that was sort of ringing in my head, as I was going around doing my daily chores, like making coffee and lunch and stuff. I was like, I want something. I like the beat to have something that sort of reflects that kind of vibe. So of course I could jump on the piano and write the Godfather kind of tune, but that was going to take ages. So I just thought this particular sample invoked a bit of that in me. So I thought, okay, this will be a good basis. And that's how I do a lot of my songwriting. I try and get a sound, even if it's just a one-bar loop of something, that inspires me. And then I write a beat around it. And I think it's pretty standard amongst most producers and beat makers. But usually the kind of beats I make are, because I make a lot of instrumental electronic music aimed at the dance floor, so I add a lot of textures. I add a lot of layers. But then I realized that if I'm going to write a beat that for MCs and rappers, I got to keep it simple. So I think that was the challenge. Is how do I add enough elements to give it the groove, but then don't overdo it with the texture? So it was a sort of a little challenge for me as well. So I'm glad that I'm glad that the beat kind of, you find it appealing. I think that to me is a big thing, that you found that you could work, that you are able to work with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as soon as I heard the beat, I kind of wished that I was one of the vocalists tonight. It's got a big vibe about it, and sort of instantly just makes me want to, I don't know, rap loudly to it. Or not even necessarily loudly, but with energy.
So so I use some of my machines I've got a little Roland TRA drum machine. So I'm a bit of a gear nerd, I'm one of those synth and drum machine nerds. So so I sort of so the beats are mostly from a analog drum machine. So that was kind of fun to be able to
cool.
Write that. So it'll be interesting. So obviously, I guess that was the easy part. It's a difficult part that awaits us, I imagine, which is getting the not the difficult part, but the challenging part, shall we say? Put a bit of a positive spin to it. It's when I get all the vocal stems from the rappers to put it together, and then I think that's going to be the interesting, challenging part.
Well, really looking forward to seeing how you manage to fit everybody together and what stuff you might develop along the way as well in terms of the track itself. If you like, I've got a couple of ideas for how we could go from here. We could do a bit of a fly on the wall thing if you want to talk the audience through changes that you are making as you go. Or if you like, you can have a little while and I can just have a little bit of a chat with the audience for a little while you start on the next bit of development, and we can check back in with you a little bit later on. What do you reckon?
I think the latter sounds good. So that gives me a chance to get up, go to the fridge and get myself a beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some rice crackers. And and then it also gives you a chance to, talk to people and see where they're at.
Sounds like a great idea. Yeah. And I think we have some agreement coming in here from Shotgun Kiss about your choice in Godfather films, just so that you know you're not alone in that opinion.
All right. Yes. It's an epic soundtrack. Godfather 2.
All right. Well, I'll say farewell for now. Give us a bit of a shout when you are ready to share something else, and see you in a little while.
Yep.
Just you and I again, audience. How are we all doing? Give us a wave emoji. Give us something. Vegetables, waving, fireworks. There are so many emojis. You can really get creative. Even if there's like a story that you want to tell in your emojis, it could be interesting. I mean, we're here to see a story told after all. And I also, in the meantime, have a little bit of a question for everybody. Oh, okay. We got a very simple story. Hello, hi. How you going, Kelsey? Oh, we got a carrot, I think, or is that a baguette? Dope. Baguettes are pretty nice. Olive bread, big fan of that. Okay. What's the story? So it was raining, and then maybe after that, we praised the sun. Guess there's always a lot of room for interpretation in emoji stories. You're alright too, Shotgun Kiss. So the question that I have for everybody, something that the Doctor said just before, made me a little bit curious to hear from people, and I thought maybe I'd share a little bit of my own perspective on it as well. When he said that he wasn't sure exactly what kind of sounds inspire the folks that he would be working with tonight. And in particular, that phrase stuck with me about what kind of sounds inspire. And I'm curious to hear from people what sort of sounds inspire them, and maybe a bit less vaguely, a bit more specifically, I'm curious what kind of artists are at the forefront of your mind when we talk about inspiration. Like for me, the very first ones that came to mind when I was thinking about inspiration in the music that I do is Jurassic 5. And if there's anyone here that's into Jurassic 5, I would love to know about that, because they hold a very dear place in my heart. Connor likes my mouth sounds. Thank you very much, Connor. I appreciate that. I like your mouth sounds too. If anybody is looking for some really smooth production and just really beautiful melodies to vibe out to, can recommend Connor. Look him up on Spotify. He's got some really nice stuff. Fancy, new single, just released recently. You will not regret it. Jurassic 5, I believe I was saying. Love Jurassic 5. Just like that real... And it's something that actually kind of reminds me of the VU vibe, which maybe some folks who are watching can attest to. I think actually someone at one of our gigs once mentioned this about a performance that had gone on. That real big community energy. There's just this real positive messaging that's always coming through. Like you can tell that at the core of everything that they're putting out is this kind of love. I mean, sure, there's the occasional just like massive hype track of just like, how good is J5? But I cannot believe what I'm reading right here. Mama Lisa, that's so awesome. I'm pretty jealous of you right now. That's actually that's amazing. Love to hear that. I don't even know what to say. I'm so jealous. Oh, tuna fish. Have you been in a room with tuna fish? I want to know that. Is his voice as magical in person as it is on an album? Anderson .Paak, you know, I'd never really gotten into Anderson .Paak. Maybe some other folks who are around here. It sounds like Mama Lisa's big on Anderson .Paak, but everything that I have heard so far has been really beautiful. Nick Cave, Zimmerman, Symphonic. Love to hear what it is about those artists that you find inspirational. Like, what is it that keeps you coming back to them? That sounds awesome, actually. I would love to see that. Mentoring masterclass, so is that you were mentoring Soup or Soup was mentoring you? Would love to hear that. That is really dang interesting. J5, yeah. An interesting one for me actually is Eminem, because on the one side, often find him to be pretty full on, pretty abrasive a lot of the time, but I think there's just this kind of crazy honesty that comes through a lot of what he's saying, and I think that's probably what a lot of people vibe with. Certainly is for me. And I'd love to hear a little bit more. We can come back to this conversation a little bit. It sounds like we have got an artist that would like to come in and talk a little bit about layering some harmonies and about how they manage recording their singing. And we will bring them in just now. Can everybody say hello again to Minti D? Well, you know what? I'll give her a moment. I'll wait for her to give me the thumbs up so that I don't bring her in while she's halfway through recording a track. Oh, green tea pang. Absolutely. Love that. Mr. Sun. Gets me every time. No kidding. Yeah, that's amazing. I would love to talk to you more about that, because that sounds really cool to actually get to work with those people. And yeah, I'd be really curious to hear about what you taught them and what they taught you and just how that all went. Minty, if you are good to go, give us a thumbs up and I'll bring you on in. I can see you looking at your screen there. Nice. We've got a couple of folks seem to be fighting over Prince, over the claim of Prince as the ultimate inspiration. Oh, and can everybody please say hello to Minti D? Oh, no audio. Sorry, Minty. Wow, Minty D. Oh, yeah, no worries, Minty. You take your time. I believe I may have brought you in a little bit early. No. We still got no audio from you.
Hello. Sorry, I was bouncing out of stem. I had to wait.
Of course, no worries. Of course, like it's exporting. Yeah.
It was loaded. Yeah.
I was
like,
yeah. Did a great job of providing a little bit of feedback for everyone in the meantime.
How are you all going?
Looks so like having a bit of a chat in the chat about people's musical inspirations. Got some folks talking about all.
There you are. I lost you.
Yeah, that
for
was
a
a bit,
second.
Bit spooky.
Spooky!
Hello, everybody. We're still here.
We just thought that we'd just check that you're all awake and with us.
Bit of a jolt back to life. So, I believe you wanted to talk about harmonies.
Yes.
Where in them harmonies?
So
What's going on
that's
with you?
right. I thought I would just basically give you a screen share and show you how I lay down a harmony. And maybe if anyone's got any questions about harmonies and how to train your ear or whatever, then feel free to chuck them in the comments. And Jake, if you want to direct some of those questions at me, that is hella fine.
Absolutely. I will keep an eye.
Cool. So, okay, I'm going to just get my screen share on so that you can all see what's going on. Okay, screen share is happening in 5, 4, 3, entire screen. Let's do the entire screen.
Oh, the entire
There we
screen.
go.
Okay, we're ready to go.
Oh,
Bam.
yeah,
Here we are. Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Is that better? Oh, no, that's not good,
we're looking at StreamYard, but that's okay.
Hang on, let me just fix
Always a
that.
good time.
Just making sure that you're all awake, and if I just do that, that might work. Hopefully you can still hear me. Cool, let's do it. Alrighty. Cool, it's just going to be... There we go. Great. Cool, so I have a little hook that I've just sent Pradeep already now, and I'm going to just show you just basically me doing a very quick lay down of some harmonies. So I'm just going to do it, and you can have a little listen. How does that sound?
Love it. That sounds amazing.
So when I'm doing a harmony, I'm just literally playing a track, and then I'm using my ears to on the spot think of a harmony. So sometimes it's not always going to work. Sometimes it does, and then I kind of play around with what things work. So you'll hear when things work and when things don't. At least you get to hear the process. Sorry. Okay, can you hear that? Okay.
Yeah, that's coming through well.
I think it's this one that I want. I'm running. Cool. All right. Let's go. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. All right, so that's the top one. A bit shit at the beginning, but that's okay. I might just fix that a little bit.
It's all improvisational process.
I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. Cool, and then I'll do the next one. Doesn't matter if it's rough now, because it's just so you get an idea. Then, so that's my little high one. And then I'll do so what I like to usually do is I try and do sort of like a basic melody line harmony, middle harmony, which is sort of like a middle harmony, then a high harmony and a low harmony. And then sometimes, depending on what the beat is, I'll try and throw in something that's a little bit off kilter. It just depends on what the beat is. So sometimes a beat might feel a little bit more like I want to use some dissonant sounds or some crunchy sounds, things that kind of almost clash but don't. Sometimes I want it to be more resolved sounding.
Okay.
Let's see what we've got here. Any questions?
I'm curious what it is that from one track to another makes you want to use dissonant versus smooth harmonies.
I think it just... Maybe it's something to do with the scale that a song is done in. So if you've got a song that's got some sounds that I can hear, because I'm literally just using my ear to try and work with what I've been given. So if I've got a song, for example, that's got more of a bit of a Middle Eastern flavor, then I'll start to try and pick out some notes that maybe work a little bit more in that direction, in the direction of using a scale that is more common to a Middle Eastern vocal scale. I don't know a Eastern vocal scale, but, you know, something that's by working in between the notes.
Yeah, I get you. Like stepping outside of the conventions of like Western notation. I want to say notation.
No, I can't do it now, but it's hard because I'm on the spot.
Yeah.
Like when you don't have a beat, it's hard to sort of like.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then I'll do a low one. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. Okay, cool. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. And sometimes like that for me didn't work, so I'll just try doing something different. It's really
that sounded so cool.
I just deleted it because I don't like it. That's the thing. Like I will literally just keep doing different harmonies, just on the spot, spontaneous, and then I'll find one that I like. And it's just, I think it's like you just, when you're listening to songs, if anyone's interested in developing your ear for harmonies, just whenever you hear a song, just find harmonies for it. Always sing a harmony in the car or wherever you are. You know, if you're walking down the street and you're hearing a song, if it's a song that you know well, even better. And you can just constantly try and find harmonies, starting off simple and then eventually trying out more complex harmonies. That's Burger from that later. Okay.
I love that. Yeah, it's something that's a lot of fun to do. Just like playing around with your voice as you're listening to music. I think not something that I've explored heaps and heaps in my own music so far, but there's something immediately satisfying about just finding a nice harmony and layering it on top of something else. Yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't really understand the true value of harmonies until I started working in a harmony trio group, and that was when I was like, oh my God, the ear is amazing. If you learn to just train your ear to hear all the possibilities of notes in music, there's so much that you can do with it, you know? Oh, yes, Mama Lisa, I would love to do some harmonies before I head off to Uganda. Yeah, I'd love to.
How exciting!
I'll be coming back.
Get a bit of a barbershop quartet going, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going there for music, so. Anyway, that's a little bit of a sneak.
But can have multiple chapters of this barbershop quartet, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to just chuck a few more down if people are interested. Otherwise, if someone else wants to jump in and have a chat with you, that's also cool.
Sounds like in the near future, our resident rap god Rhath will be ready to rock. But for now, I'd love to hear some more harmonies. I feel like there's probably a little bit. Mama Lisa wants to be the Homer of our barbershop quartet. I want to be Wiggum. I don't know how to get that nasally voice going, but if I could, actually, Wiggum gets kicked out, doesn't he?
I'll just puff some dust in your face, and then you can, then you'll be nobody.
Baby.
All right, let's give it a go then.
Nice. Take it away.
So I'm running, 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 I'm running. So that's kind of an in-between part.
Ah, yeah.
Whoopsies. Was accidental. Okay. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. Fucked it. What did I just do?
This is all part of it.
Pressure of being alive. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. That's it. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. Oh, the next one. So that's just a random one. Let's see what that sounds like. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running.
So I'm curious how you do you find yourself mucking around with the volumes of different takes when you're piecing them all together?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So once I've got the basic harmonies down, sorry, you go.
I was going to ask how you decide on what you're doing, but it sounds like you're already starting to talk about that. So go ahead.
So once I've kind of laid down my basic kind of rough harmonies, then I start syncing it all up because you can. Oh, that's right. You can see my screen, can't you? Then I start just re-recording it and actually getting that harmony better and all in line, so that they're in sync. And then generally I find that the lower harmonies need to be at a lower volume than the higher harmonies. Okay. It depends on your vocal quality as well. I'm more of a lower singer, and also my high range is a little bit kind of thin. So depending on what your vocal texture and tone is like, you can play around with the level of how you want each of those different harmonies to sound. So you might want to have, for you, Jake, for example, you might want to have more beef in your upper harmony, more stroganoff in your upper harmony, more linguine in your lower harmony.
I understand exactly what you mean.
And
it sounds like maybe you're saying you want to compensate for like where your vocal range might not necessarily have the pizzazz. And maybe if you feel like you want more pizzazz in that range, you boost that up, or maybe you cut other things down a little bit.
Exactly. Because depending on what you're going for, but just if we're talking just a basic sense of harmonies, you're wanting it to sound like one, like it's like one coherent voice, just one whole voice working together. And it's almost like, yes, you can hear all those harmonies, but they should be, just hear nice. There was someone laughing there. That was hilarious. Did you hear that?
One of my housemates has an incredibly hearty laugh. It makes me laugh every time. I know. He could do a good Santa.
God, absolutely. We need to have that on the clip, actually. That's given me an idea. Thank you, housemate.
I'll get his consent to sample.
I might just have to recreate it myself. So you don't want each individual to sound like someone doing a solo, because it's not about that. It's about working with the harmonies around you so that it's just this one incredible collection of sounds that interweave and kind of blend beautifully together. So that's what I try and do when I'm actually then cleaning it up and stuff, fixing it.
For the ocean.
Yeah, and then sometimes you might even have a few harmonies that are all doing the same thing, like I'm running, da 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 ba ba da ba 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 da ba ba da ba ba da ba. And then you might have something that's going over the top, like ba 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 ba, or just one or two longer notes, or like a bass note, which is just like more like a drone sound, which then just gives it a little bit more meat. And you can also have harmonies that go down da 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 da, or da 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 at the same time, so that you've got this kind of like almost meeting in the middle and movement.
It sounds like Mama Lisa is loving your timing so far. Speaking of,
I'm sweating, babe. I'm sweating. My thighs, my groin is so fucking sweaty.
We can give your thighs and your groin some time to cool off and air out. It sounds like Rhath is ready to rock, as we said before.
I'm even pants. Look.
Oh, nice. Very airy pants.
Yeah, but it's not helping. I will let Rye come in and do his thing. Jump. All right, you ready? Here we go. Oh, it's because I'm under the mic.
Here we go. It's happening. 1,
2, 3.
Live as per your direction. Woo!
See you, beautiful humans. Thanks for tuning in.
See you in a little while.
Ciao, ciao.
All right, everybody. What we have ahead of us now is, can we please have some kind of verbal or text-based or emoji-based communication? I want to hear the excitement for Rhath himself, just while I wait to see a little thumbs up from Rye to know that he's G to G. Van Halen, you know, I don't know if I've ever listened to Van Halen. Is there the first album, do you reckon the first album is the one to be getting into Mama Lisa? Or is there maybe a better place to start with Van Halen than the very first one? Because I know that sometimes like an artist's first album, in my experience, can sometimes be almost like a, not necessarily polarizing, but maybe it's like they're kind of unrefined or like really raw ideas, like artistic ideas that they're just like spewing out, and maybe they don't have all the technical stuff. Is Jump a song by Van Halen is what I want to know. But the answer to that question maybe will be happening in the background whilst we bring on the very talented Rhath. Ready to go, Rhath? Pew!
Yeah, baby!
How you doing? You seem energized.
I am energized. I have surprised myself. I thought I would do okay, but I've worked far quicker than I thought I would.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm.
Sounds beautiful. I'm very glad to hear it. Would you like to share what you have so far?
I'd love to share what I have so far. Let's do it.
Yeah, nice.
No, I can... Yeah, let's do. I'll share my screen.
Jump by Van Halen. Sorry to just interrupt your searching. Right, have you heard this song? Does it ring any bells? I probably have, Lisa. I reckon I probably have.
If it's on, I wonder if it's on a Guitar Hero. I think a lot of my my classic rock knowledge comes from Guitar Hero. Let's bump this one over. And throw this up. I hope this is all. Alright, let's bloody go. Let's bloody give it a go. And Jake, you let me know if you can't hear anything.
Waking and dreaming, blurring, I'm stirring to slumber to wake again, spinning around, I'm going down. This rabbit hold on me, repeating, leaving a bitter taste in my mouth. So slip in the ground, my feet skating the limits of gravity. And can you get a hold of me? Fear pumping and taking the words from me. Running the nightmare, living in this reality. Fingers left is numb, keep it with the blood. Hands praying with the sun. Can I ever get enough? Can I ever be above? Can I ever soar high? Can I ever be mine again? Now I'm forgetting how I got here at all. Now I'm running and running and running and running it down.
I need a bumper.
Now I'm running and running and writing this down.
Whoop. Oh no, what have I done? There we go. It's
nice.
That's where
Love
I'm
the
at.
energy. That's cool. That's dope.
I'm happy with it.
I always, dude, that gets me every time.
I embrace it so much more now because I've had so much more support from people doing it. Yeah, I love it.
What is the origin of the?
Great.
Got some love coming in. Kelsey
Great question.
Sending some big vibes your way from presumably the other room.
Oh yeah, she's just over there.
Just over there. Shotgun kiss, keen, loving the sound. But the history of the.
I actually am not entirely sure. I can kind of recall. I recall the very first time I heard someone else do it back to me, but in terms of actually where it came from, I think it must have just been an ad. It must have just been an ad lib that I had just done a couple of times, which was just a in the background. But also people started saying Rhath, and so that kind of took on a life of its own. But I remember when I was on stage at the Workers Club with Vidon Data on stage, and she did. I did that. I went Rhath or something like that, and she did it right back to me. And there was a moment, it was like, oh shit, that's a thing now. That's a thing, and I'm very, very excited about that. I think that was a big confidence boost for finding my style. Yeah.
Yeah.
something I've noticed though as well is like going back and listening to people like Pusha T, Danny Brown as well. But Pusha especially like has a lot of like a yuck kind of shit in there, a lot of guttural, gross sounds, and I fucking love that shit. So I'm trying to embrace it more and more. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to go really far back, I think it's probably My Chemical Romance and things like that. It's probably like, I reckon it's like that screamo, devilly kind of stuff. Just dramatic.
True.
Just
That's
bit goblin-esque, bit dark.
Tracing the genealogy, the goblin. The goblin shines through.
It's all there. And My Chem holds up.
Cool.
No one disrespected him.
I never listened to them at all. Just never got into them. I'm sure there's some people watching right now who dug My Chem though. They are quite popular, from what I understand.
They copped a bad rap because they were part of like the emo scene, which copped a bad rap. But they just wanted to be Queen. Like they are so Queen-esque. It's ridiculous, especially like in their last two albums. It's all Queen. It's all just big choruses, the structures. It's just a darker take on Bohemian Rhapsody, basically, for an entire album, and it's fucking amazing. It's so good. I dig it.
Sounds amazing.
I'd highly recommend it. I would actually genuinely highly recommend everyone go back and listen to Black Parade, and even the album after that. I can't remember what it's called, but whatever. The last two albums, fucking mint.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Check that out.
How's it all? Sorry, you take away. You're host. You ask the questions.
Well, so far it's looking pretty good. We were just talking to Minti. She was doing some takes of harmonies just before, showing everyone all that, and probably pretty soon be talking to the Shroom King himself. Excellent. Seeing what he's been up to. But yeah, it seems to be taking shape pretty well. I was going to ask, I'm curious about, I guess, where you've gone with this lyrically, and if you wish to speak about it, or if it's more of a like, keep it hidden underneath.
No, I'll speak on it. I said I wasn't going
to... Sorry, we have some philosophical musings from Shotgun Kiss about whether or not a waff. It rages. Maybe you could breathe like a whisper? Is that breathe like a whisper? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm slightly confused. Do we know who Shotgun Kiss is, or
I know that we got your name last time you were on a stream, Shotgun Kiss, but I actually don't remember. I'm sorry about that. Could we have a reintroduction? Oh, bless your soul.
I forget how sensitive my microphone is. So you're picking it all up. I'm a gassy boy tonight.
Definitely picked up. Well.
Yeah. I said I wasn't going to go too far into politics and conspiracy theories and all that kind of shit, but I did in the end. But purely from like an emotional kind of place of just like the kind of escaping, both from my point of view and from people who are kind of more down those rabbit holes point of view of escaping reality, my desire to escape from the politics of our current times, and feeling somewhat guilty from that as well, but also just like the spirals that you get in throughout, especially if you're locked inside for weeks and months on end. So yeah, it's about spiraling, but about running away. But certainly trying to get in the head of people who go down those rabbit holes, because I feel like I know. Yeah, I feel like I can see how I can get there, and we just need a little bit of love. Just need a little bit of love, bit of community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
To not get too, we can go further into it, but we don't need to. Yeah,
bridging the understanding gaps.
Exactly.
If you want my unsolicited opinion.
But also, yeah, I mean, that coupled with just the kind of in and out of sleep and various states of consciousness, like during these times of lockdown, of just the blurring of slumber, the blurring of slumber between drunkenness, the blurring of all states of consciousness that we experience during these times, and how it affects us, how we communicate through that. That's where I'm at.
Cool. Looking forward to getting a chance to listen to it more in its entirety and digest fully.
I think I got a few more doubles to lay down.
I'm looking at the layout that you have here of it looks like your all the different audio tracks that you've got going, like with the ad libs on the left and right. I'm curious about how you've set them out. If you would like to share that with
for sure
folks at home. This
is pretty standard template for me at the moment. So I do my main take. I've also recorded it in sections. So I've gone through and I've like looped. Let's say like we're looping this section, right?
Waking and dreaming, blurring, I'm stirring to slumber to wake again, spinning around, I'm going down.
And that's where that section ends. And so those 3 takes down here in the bottom, that's the 3, they're all identical, or like they're all the same part. So I've recorded that 3 times. I've then just duplicated. So I just took this one. The last take was the best one. I've then dragged it down to this one. And then I've moved this over to the last take. So I've got 2 different takes running with each other. My double channel is basically a duplicate in terms of effects, except that I've also got a widener on it just to add some more. To throw that out on the sides a little bit to make the voice sound thicker. That's all that those 2 are doing. And then my ad-lib channels, again, just duplicates of my vocal chain, except that I'm taking out, in fact, I'm going to take even more out. I'm just taking out all the low end, little bit of like a low quality phone kind of audio on the side, maybe, if we can listen to that. We've got looping. So a little bit tinny, a little bit out to the side, and then I'll just pan those left and right.
It sounds like doing the low cut filter is almost a way to make it sound a little bit distant.
A little bit distant, and also just not muddy it up. Like it's quiet. You're not going to be really noticing those low frequencies anyway. Those higher frequencies are going to be what's cutting through. So I don't really need that much low end. But also, I find that like the main vocal down the center, that's nice and thick, and then everything out, and then I put everything to the side, jumping around a little bit, but they don't muddy things up at all that way. And then that's all I've done. I'm going to do another double channel, I think, which will be potentially 2 takes put together and then put together as just me shouting some bits and pieces. So like me just choosing particular lines here. So let's see. So maybe I'm going down needs a double up. I'm going down. Just double that kind of shit up. That's what I might do to go thicken up some of the bars. And then we're on the tail end, and then that's it. I'm going to send it off to the Docta. Yeah. You seem to be muted, my friend.
Thank you very much.
There you are. Yeah, no worries.
Are those things that you have, like you've already had to think about which ones you want to double up on and layer on top of? Is that something that you'd like to do with a live studio audience?
It's not something... Oh, so you want me to do it with people watching, listening?
If you can.
Absolutely, I can do that.
If it's safe for human consumption to see these things.
It absolutely is. Let's see how we go. I haven't really planned what parts I'm going to double up, so I might have a listen through one time and see how I feel. Might highlight some things in my text document, and then we'll do a pass. Let's do it.
Waking and dreaming, blurring, I'm stirring to slumber to wake again, spinning around, I'm going down. This rabbit hole on me repeating, leaving the bitter taste in my mouth. So slip in the ground, my feet skating the limits of gravity. And can you get a hold of me? Feel you pumping and taking the words from me. Burning the nightmare, living in this reality. Fingers left is numb, keep up with the blood. Hands praying with the sub. Can I ever get enough? Can I ever be above? Can I ever soar high? Can I ever be mine again?
Alright, I think I know what I'm going to do. Let's see how we go.
Sounds beautiful. How are people feeling?
Waking and dreaming, blurring, I'm stirring to slumber to wake again, spinning around.
I'm going down.
This rabbit hole got me repeating, leaving the bitter taste in my mouth. So slip in the ground, my feet skating, skating the limits of gravity. Can you get a hold of me? Feel pumping the ticking the words from me. Burn the nightmare, living in this reality. Nubs, blood, sub, get enough, be above, so high, me, mine again. Got here it all. That might do. That was some messy shit. But it's also going to be so far in the background that it doesn't really fucking matter too much. And what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to double my ad-lib channels and use those. And then condense them out. Okay. Let's do doubles left. But yeah, because they're messy, but because they're going to be pretty far in the background, I can just move them into place if I need to. Whoop, I copied over my ad-libs channel.
Got some love for the flow coming in from Mama Lisa.
Hey, thank you, Mama Lisa.
Do you feel like your flow has changed a lot since you started rapping? Hugely, so much so. Yeah. I think it started off a bit more spoken word. I also couldn't stick to a flow. Also, by the way, I'm just going through and just chopping out any in between bits that I don't need of these kind of things. Background noise. I got a very squeaky chair, and that squeaky chair is in all my recordings. Sure.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't hold a flow. I would just every bar would be a different flow, which made remembering lyrics really fucking hard as well. I realized I didn't realize until later on. But once I stuck to a flow better, I found it much easier to memorize lyrics within a couple of within a week rather than 3 to a month. So that was good.
Okay. Is that because the flow, particular words might be sort of a reference point in that rhythm, or?
I think it's coupled with two things. I think the flow being memorable just means that it sticks in my mind better because it's just catchier. But also, I started writing lyrics that I tried to be clearer with my lines. I think before maybe the last year, I still felt like I was quite ambiguous with how I was writing, and that came through. And then I think I would forget what I was even talking about, what I was meaning. So to sell my lyrics, to believe in what I was saying was sometimes difficult because I don't actually even remember what the fuck I'm talking about. So
right, as in the words themselves being used were super, I guess, kind of artistic or too much of a creative license. Okay, that it was, you could almost forget what you were actually talking about.
Yeah, I'm just going to do one more take at that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And if people in the chat, if you have any questions about this, I'm sure Ryan will be happy to answer.
I'm snoring to slumber to wake again, spinning around. I'm going down. This rabbit hole on me repeating, leaving the bitter taste in my mouth.
So slip in the ground, my feet skating,
skating the limits of gravity.
Can you get a hold of me?
Feel pumping and ticking the
words from me.
Burn the nightmare, living in this
reality. Nubs, blood,
with the
sub, get enough, be above, so high, be mine again.
So, how you feel that was? How did you feel that compared to your first take?
That was tighter for sure. I could probably even just see on the waveforms itself, but definitely tighter.
A bit more even in the delivery.
But sometimes, and maybe for this one, depending on which parts they are, I don't need it to be that tight because it wants to sound like a gang vocal anyway. So a little messy maybe isn't the worst thing. But we're gonna find out. This might be too busy. I might take some of these out, or maybe take out some of the ad libs around it because there's a lot of ad libs and I didn't have those before the doubles. Let's see how we go.
Got a question coming in here. If you're open to question time, right?
Yeah, hang on. Let's wait.
Yeah,
hang on. I just gotta do that bit again. Got here at all. There we go. I love doing this and just moving really quickly. Yeah, question, go for it.
Yeah, so Shotgun Kiss is asked, do you live what you say, believe what you say, or have you lived what you're saying? And I guess what I'm taking from this question here is, in terms of the lyrics, maybe the ones you're writing right now, or maybe ones that you've written in the past. Oh, okay. Extra clarification coming in hot. Like, is this coming from the space of lived experience, or is it more of like projecting ideas, and that's where the lyrics are coming from?
Maybe at the start I was a bit more abstract. I was a bit more like story based, not really lived personal experience. But that's also coming from a place of like listening to more psychedelic rock and that kind of shit. I think back in the day, that's where I started, and so I think this is sort of a broad sweeping statement, but I think rap music generally is a bit more personal in the way you deliver your lyrics. So maybe at the start I was less so. That said, that's probably only the first year or so. I think overall, yes, I've always written mostly from experience. But it can be quite. I think it's really. I do really say that it's down to the way I was writing it. It's not necessarily the topics have changed or anything like that, but the way I was writing it was so abstract at times that I forgot. Like, I loved it at the time, and I still enjoy plenty of the lines and the imagery that I created. But I still go back over some of my old shit. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here. And so I find it easier to write about. I find it easier now because it's more clear about what I'm actually saying, what I'm talking about. Yeah. Which I think just purely came from doing it a lot and refining what I want. Because I still want that poetic, complex imagery, but it also needs to be clearly communicated, which I think, to get into it, I think also that this is a purely confidence thing. I think I was scared to talk my shit, and so I hid behind this like poetic facade. And now I'm like, no, I'm more comfortable saying this shit. So I can still use that poetic imagery, but I'm saying it much more directly because I actually like I always believed it, but now I'm confident to actually say it to you. Yeah,
that's really cool. Thanks for sharing.
No fucking worries.
Yeah, I with the old delay of streaming services, it's hard to know exactly what point or at what point this message was sent, but it sounds like Shotgun Kiss vibed with an aspect of what you were sharing just now. And yeah, I was thinking actually the album that you released this year, Orbits, which if anyone hasn't heard it, can solidly recommend.
Check it out.
Check it out. There's a lot of storytelling kind of vibes in there, I would say, and a lot of like quite descriptive, quite like creative imagery used in it. Like, where do you see that falling on your journey? I'm curious.
That's the end of that chapter, and I feel like the EP I dropped with Sixpence, or rather the EP that Sixpence produced for me, I felt like it was kind of the start of a new chapter. That was kind of really where a newfound confidence kicked in. But still, Orbit still was kind of like there was hints of that. There was hints of that more personal messaging coming through, but there was still post-apocalyptic imagery in there all over the place. There was one track in there especially that is just a portrait of a post-apocalyptic world. And that one, I don't think I haven't performed that one live. I struggle to remember all those lyrics. I love the fucking imagery, but because of that, like, because it's kind of disconnected from me in a sense, I do struggle to memorize it. That said, though, I also don't think that's a problem. I also think it's really good to have your really personal, hard-hitting shit that's easy to remember, really personal. The fans fucking love that shit. But if you want to do those poetic, artsy, fartsy kind of stuff on the side as well as album only tracks, fuck yeah. And I love that shit. And I'm going to do that again for sure. That like I'm still going to do that, but yeah, I'm kind of realizing that I can have these two different things and I can join them up in some way, and they exist for different reasons. Yeah,
looking forward to it. It sounds like the answer was well received. Thank you very much for the question.
Oh yeah,
actually, so glad because that's a question that I didn't even know I wanted to ask Rhath. So very much appreciated.
Appreciate it,
I've
shotgun
actually
kiss.
I have a follow-up one, but I might save that for a little bit later. I know that we've got the Shroom King waiting in the wings, ready to jump on the stream.
I'll put the final touches on this and I'll come back.
Sounds beautiful. See you a little bit later on.
Ciao, ciao.
All right, everybody. Can you all please slap your meat mitts together for the man himself? Once we have the sacred thumbs up, we'll be bringing him onto the stream. Are we ready? Let's see. Are we ready? If we get a thumbs up from Jim. In the meantime, how are we all going at this point? Does anyone feel like they need to stand up, have a little bit of a stretch, maybe get a glass of water? Can be a good shout. I know I've got my water bottle here. It's important to stay hydrated, people. Oh, very nice. Sacred slapper ready now. I don't know what it means, but I like it. And we got the meat and the mitts. Yeah, tired. I'm feeling that as well. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the thing of having had like a sunny day yesterday. And now today, it's still a little bit sunny, but I don't know. Getting a little bit more dreary. The natural ebb and flow of energy. I'm definitely feeling it too. Ready for Betty Buys, but not before we hear this track. I am keen as heck to see where it's going. Hello, Ivory. How you doing? Hope you're well. And your avatar, like the cover art that you've got for that single, just gets me every time. The wildlife. Yeah, absolutely. Feeling the tired vibes. Nice. I'm curious to hear from people in the chat just before, for folks who are just tuning in, like yourself, Ivory. We were just talking before with Rhath about like where you're, I guess, being direct with what you're saying in music, like lyrically, the sort of that spectrum between hiding things behind a lot of really colourful imagery and poetic license and saying all these really complicated words and kind of hiding a message underneath 3 layers of all that kind of stuff, versus right at the other end, just, I don't know, doing an Eminem and being like, I hate my mum because she was addicted to pills, and being really upfront about what it is that you're saying in your music, and like this kind of balancing act between them. And maybe Rhath was talking about finding himself moving a little bit more from one end of the spectrum to the other, and I would like to talk to him a little bit more about that in a little while. So if people get their noggins moving on that, then maybe we can have a little bit more of a chat about that later when we got him back. But if I could get a thumbs up from Jim, we can bring him onto the stream any second now. Pardon me, folks. Little technical things going on in the back end, but I hope you're all well. And if you did miss my message to stay hydrated, I really hope that you do. It's a good move. Oh, boom, boom. That's it, Ivory. It's in between the lines and straight up to the point. Where do you find yourself along that spectrum most of the time, do you reckon? And if there's anyone else who wants to weigh in on that conversation, I'm really curious to hear as well. Beautiful. It looks like we have our man ready to come on. We can get a thumbs up. I will bring you on into the stream. Ooh,
Hey.
howdy.
How's it going?
How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. This has been like a pretty fun song, you know. It's been a little bit hard here and there, but wait, is it ringing? Did the stream just crash?
Oh, sorry. Just muted myself so that I could type a little bit
Okay.
behind the scenes. Yeah, would you like to talk to us a little bit about, I guess, where you've been taking the stuff lyrically, or what?
Yeah,
what do you
sure.
reckon?
So I mean, I feel like the way I sort of make music is like just you get like one line, you figure out like the first, kind of almost like writing like a story. Like so much to me, imagery is like a really big part that is really important. So I sort of had like the first line, and then I was creating this kind of like dark club night image of like, you know, just sort of drowning in your own regret. And that's kind of what I was going for this. So it's sort of like people, you know, a lot of young people, I guess, tend to go out, but maybe they don't know why they're doing it. Like, is it just fun? Are we trying to like just get fucked up to like cope and stuff? And that's sort of like the kind of image I'm trying to portray in this verse.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool as. I'm not sure if you caught anything of the chat that we were sort of having just before.
No, honestly, I was a little
about-
bit like in the zone.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no worries. We were talking about, so Rhath kind of got us on, well, initially Shotgun Kiss via Rhath got us into this topic of like being direct in one's music versus being a little bit more creative and maybe hiding the message of what you're saying
Yeah.
a little bit more. And so we were talking a little bit about that. I sort of bounced the question to the folks who are watching about how they're doing it. It looks like we have a couple of answers coming through. Like Ivory's hiding a little bit of the messages, but highlighting maybe some certain particular aspects of them, needing to read
Yeah.
between the lines.
I think that's cool, but I mean, maybe this is from a more like hip hoppy kind of angle. It's kind of, I don't know, like sometimes the music doesn't have to mean anything, and then sometimes you want it to have this great arc of like story or whatever. But it's ultimately like, if the song is super like depressing, I feel like just making it like overloaded can be a bit annoying sometimes. So it's kind of nice to give a little bit of kind of like clash, or like have a bit more like witty lyrics or something, so it's not just like too much in one emotion. So I guess that is kind of hiding some of it to an extent.
Yeah, right. Like if it's just like really full on direct.
Yeah, you know, like
things, then maybe
sometimes
it
it's
could be a bit like
Yeah, and I think that's why I love, maybe like, you know, I study creative writing, so I feel like just, and it's kind of the same when you like write poetry or like a lot of it is just like you use like the same techniques in music, like. So it's cool when you come from like a background like that, because like the lyrics need to mean something to an extent, but like not all of them need to. Like they just, I feel like you just need like those punchlines that really paint the image, but they don't all need to do the same thing. Yeah, that's sort of how I like to make music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet as. It looks like behind the scenes, we've got Rhath is in a little while. He'll be ready to come on and play the take that you recorded. How have you been going with the setup with recording?
Oh, the mic's like really nice. Like productionally, yeah, it's been pretty fine. I've been playing around a little bit with like the gain and all that, but I think it's probably a little bit loud, like that take. So maybe if I redo it, I'd like turn down the volume and maybe turn down the gain a tiny bit, because some of it has like screechy and like shouty elements, and because I feel like vocally it's kind of going like up and down and like changing speed and frequencies and stuff. So that is a little bit hard to record, but I kind of like that. It's a, sort of like a way to kind of, like once again, the image is like this kind of dirty, crazy night out. So maybe it's a way like, it's kind of like, it's just up and down and you're finding yourself in these strange places, kind of like, what am I doing? So yeah. And that's kind of what I got from it. But like, I really like the beat, and just, having the idea of like something beforehand really helped. Because when I first heard it, this is like not what I was imagining, but I liked kind of the approach we took it in.
Okay. Do you mean like at the beginning, sort of having a bit of a talk about what people were feeling, like different ideas?
No, I literally mean like like when he dropped it on Discord, like earlier today.
Yeah.
I was like, honestly, I feel like this is more of just like a hard-hitting kind of like rowdy song, but it's kind of cool to see it in a more like a bit like not like slower, but like maybe not as like just hype. Yeah, like more just like it's still trying to say something,
Yeah, like maybe it's got that gravity to it, but not necessarily.
Yeah, it's got a bit more like depth than just like a
wilding out.
Yeah,
hectic.
like I love making songs like that, but they do get boring after a while because it's just like kind of like, what's the point of this? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Sounds like a bit of an opportunity to explore,
change
stuff up a little bit.
I'm really excited to see how like my sound would sound with someone like Rhath, who is very different to me vocally, like more like Australian rap, more quick, like that style. And then even like Minti, that's more like singer-songer. Like I try to sing, it's not that great. Like I do just, I'm not like like that would say that like heavily my weakest part of music is definitely just trying to like sing and like hit notes and all that. But like it's cool to see like how we can maybe bring out each other's weakness, like strengths and stuff like that. Yeah.
Complementary vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure.
And I've never actually worked with like other vocalists, so this is just a cool opportunity regardless.
Yeah. Well, it seems like Rhath's good to go now, so if we can get a thumbs up from him, we can bring him on.
Yeah, baby.
Howdy ho, how you doing?
Let's get my microphone back. Yeah.
Nice one.
Good. I'm sending off my stems now. But in the meantime, we want... Sorry.
I was going to intro to the folks at home. No worries. I was going to intro to the folks at home that the setup that we're going to be going with here is Rhath is going to be playing... I'm so sorry. I called you Jim before, but I also know you as Sam.
Yeah, it's a little bit... Jim. So Jim Horde's like my artist name, but like, so I guess we just do that.
Beautiful. Yeah. Jim Horde. Rhath is going to be playing Jim's take that he took just to cover the technical side of it. Already got everything set up to play through the beat from the computer. But what were you about to say, Rhath?
I'm good to go.
That's beautiful. Let's do it.
Let's go.
I see you on the dance floor, you know I'm drowning in it, fool. Swimming in a pool of ecstasy at 4 a.m. Try to find a better me, but you know that don't exist. Double bucket short, tipsy at the exit. Kick me out the border up the Brexit. Yeah! Trying to go home, Uber on my phone. Get me back to my bubble so I can huddle. I wanna cruise on these drunken dreams. You know I'm a fiend for some nicotine. Kicking on by the beach, screeches on my ego. Teaching me this cycle is so toxic, but you cannot break it. Looking inside my soul, I'm never gonna make it to a cleaner life, so I'll take another drink. Binge drink the pain away. Binge drink the pain away. Take another pill. Drown in the screeching sound at 4 a.m.
Hell yeah. I could not be further from mine, which I'm really down for.
Wow, we like it very different. Well, yeah. Sorry, like I said, I was a little bit absent, but what was like your sort of one about Rhath?
I ended up going down the conspiracy theory kind of thing, but more about the emotional side, just like being tired, being we're all just kind of in this Groundhog Day repetition kind of shit.
Yeah, I feel like that still works definitely. Like But like, once again, like it's cool to see how this is probably going to be so like a little bit messy because we are all kind of taking it from different approaches, but that might turn to be like really cool in the end.
Yeah, I think so, and I think definitely our deliveries are going to be really interesting together.
Yeah, like we all have very different sort of like sing-songy or like rap voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was trying to go for like a more deeper kind of like I was like playing around with Spotify and I made this playlist with there's such a like specific type of voice that I kind of like to use, and I feel like there's a lot of artists that do this kind of like. Do you know like King Cruel, like Genesis and Mitsu, sort of like that kind of like it's almost like, but like not entirely.
Like guttural?
Kind of, yeah, like it's a bit like just grim and like gritty, like as Amuka was saying, like it's kind of like that. I don't know how they do it like entirely, but I just love that voice, like especially for like more slower kind of works. Even like slow tie a little bit, like that sort of vocal is definitely what I am very comfortable working with.
I've definitely picked up some slow tie. When you get energetic, I can hear the slow tie in there for sure.
Yeah. I look up to slow tie a lot. Like, what a go.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We got grit has been said once again. We got primal as well. There's another word coming in. Primal.
Primal. That's one I haven't heard before, but I like it.
Heck yeah. It's sounding cool. I'm really keen to hear how this all comes together and what it all sounds like as a complete piece. It's interesting. It sounds like the hook that Minty's working with, which I'm sure you'll hear, but there's this theme of running.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Running from things. Yeah, it sounds like that's something that could actually tie what the two of you have written together really well.
Yeah. Like, these are like our personal demons, almost in like two very separate worlds. It kind of seems like that's cool. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
The question that that Rye got asked by one of our watchers a little earlier on, I'd be really interested to put to you as well, Jim. The stuff that's in your lyrics, is that stuff from lived experience, or is that more of like ideas in your head that you're sort of extrapolating out into this story? Maybe a little mix of both?
I would say the way, like, going back to my sort of like thesis of just creation, I honestly can't make something that doesn't affect me. So like everything I've ever written about, like, it has to have came from a place of like personal. So yeah, I guess I have sort of had an experience with just like toxic binging and, so it's coming from a place of truth, but also like maybe kind of moving on from that. Like I don't do it as badly as I used to. So it's like, I don't know, like I guess when I felt like running the night, this is just why I felt like this is sort of like my demon, is like the sort of just how you just kind of kill yourself sometimes with like just binge drinking and why, like, what is like, this has got to be deeper than just like going out for some beers, So I guess, so definitely from a place of personal experience.
Yeah,
I feel like that's where the best, but like art to me has to be from something. You can't just make art out of thin air. Even like subconsciously, you're probably still doing it, even if it's like more like it's so like just using like everything's still just like a metaphor for your own kind of expression, just done in creative ways.
I think that's a really important point that I think people need to recognize when you can embody a character, but you can't. Also, you can play a character, but you can't embody the character unless you're taking your own emotions. So even if you haven't experienced something that you're talking about in your song, the human emotion that you've experienced somewhere else in your life can translate to that for the most part. Like it'd be weird for me. I was trying to think of an absurd example. I can't talk about being a heroin addict, but maybe I can. I've drunk heavily. Maybe I could try and play that character for a particular verse in a rap if it felt necessary to the time.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but I don't know. Like I guess just with something like music, I just feel like it should be more like less like you're trying to play an alter ego. Especially like we do hip hop. And I find, hip hop can be like a little bit like, oh, you know, why are you doing hip hop? You know, you're not even like from that lifestyle and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's why I try to make it a bit more like, you know, take some, like, I love the whole like combining sounds and, you know, just listening to so much different stuff. It's really cool influence in creating music. And then obviously, you know, like using, like the whole reason I started making music in the first place was because I was going through like a pretty bad breakup. And then I was just like, I need something to sort of like therapize myself. And then, I was like, this is just like, you know, I've done all these other creative stuff in my life, but like music is like really cool. And just like telling that story through like just words and like beats and shit is just like something I found passion for in that time. And maybe it was because of that I find it like impossible to write music that isn't like a little bit more darker, not darker, but like more depth to it. Yeah.
That's such a great outcome of a breakup to end up being a musician.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty much, hey, like.
I think honestly that's the same thing that's happened to me in the last like 12 months. So I definitely vibe with that.
I feel like a lot of people just, I don't know. There's something about romance
so.
that is just like you need to like how you know how much romantic music there is in the world. I swear like 80% of music tends to be around like sex or like love or breakups or something. So it kind of makes sense to me why like so many people turn towards like platforms of art during times of trauma.
Well, it's processing.
Absolutely.
It's a way of processing, which I guess like to to then take it back to the other thing I was talking about before Jane to you, Jim, was in a lot of my previous work I have a lot of post-apocalyptic kind of vibes and imagery to my stuff, and that's because I spend a lot of time playing post-apocalyptic video games and thinking about that kind of shit and writing that kind of shit, and but it's still just a way of processing. So I think if it's still that's kind of that's the space you live in your brain, then it's still worth putting down in music, even though I haven't experienced the apocalypse personally.
I wouldn't even agree with that. Like, you know, you play a game, you become so immersed in that like world. Like, I used to fucking like when I was like probably like 12 to about 17, I just fucking grinded like World of Warcraft. And something like that for me is like it's so much more than just like a game. Like I genuinely was like in this world. It was so immersed. You know, it was a part of my life. So like I can, you know, I didn't physically do it, but like I definitely felt that emotionally.
It's a certain kind of like exploring those situations. Yeah. A lot of love coming in for this. Thanks everyone for being a part of this conversation. It's really nice to know there are people like chugging along, watching, and I agree, Ivory. I'm pretty happy with the outcome as well. I think we all are. That outcome of like taking it to artistry. And I just wanted to show you guys and share with you a really beautiful couple of comments that have come through from MQ. Taking the emotion of a lived experience, understanding the emotion of a character, and translating one's experience into portrayal is
That's pretty beautiful,
the ultimate challenge. And telling your story is what we're all trying to do. The hard part is having it understood in the way we'd like. I guess people will tend to interpret things how they interpret them, and it's an interesting kind of thing. Like if the end goal is to be understood by folks, then sometimes that could be a frustrating kind of endeavor.
I feel like kind of working on that point. Like I feel like maybe at the beginning I had that feeling, but now I'm sort of just like maybe that's not like the main goal. Maybe it's just creating your story and seeing how people interpret it, and like that's the beauty of it. Because obviously in your head it's so much more different, but like, you know, it could just help someone in a very, very different situation. And, you know, if you can do that, then good on you, I guess. Like, it's like, it's almost like a little bit narcissistic to be like, you know, I just want this story to be like, what
right, like, I have the answer. You guys need to understand the answer properly.
Yeah, you know, like, the beauty is how people just read into it and add all these, like imagine making a show and people just making like all these crazy theories and you're just like, man, this is not what I intended. But it's pretty cool.
True. Yeah. There's almost like this kind of trust that even if it's not what you thought of, people are going to draw some kind of worthwhile interpretation out of the art that you make.
Yeah, and I feel like as artists, you know, sometimes you, like I've definitely experienced, you can be a little bit protective of your work, but I think once you let that go a bit, it definitely makes it easier to like take criticism and all that sort of stuff.
That's one of my favorite experience is simply, if I get my point across in exactly the way I intended, that's pretty cool. That makes me excited. But what I really like is when someone says like, "Oh man, that was that. I love that song. I love that image that you made, and it made me think of this. And I love how you did this, and all this like crazy. All these things are connected, man." I'm like, no, they're not. Like I just put it out there, man. I love that you connected those dots for yourself. That actually makes me more excited because I think like that's how I react to art as well. Listening to a lot of music and visual art that I don't really have much of a personal connection to in terms of lived experience, but you can connect the human emotion of yourself into these things. And yeah, I find that exploratory connection for the audience far more exciting most of the time than communicating a clear message. This isn't a TED Talk where we're making music. We're just chilling the fuck out. If you want to make TED Talks in music form, then fucking sweet, make political music, which I do at times. But yeah,
I'm just gonna jump in there because I'm noticing. Well, first of all, Mash, MQ would like us to know that he likes turtles, and I don't think you're alone in that, MQ. I think turtles are amazing. But keen to hear Minti. Ivory is also pretty keen to hear Minti. There's a lot of support coming in here. So Minti, if you are ready, give us a little thumbs up. We'll bring you in. We're good to go. Hello there.
Hello. I love turtles too. I've been enjoying what you guys have been saying. Very interesting to see, Rhath, how someone's perspective can be completely different to what you had intended, but that's so exciting when someone says something and you're like, fuck, I had no idea that's where it could have gone, you know, and then that just opens up another door for expression and another kind of direction that you can even take the next thing that you do or whatever. You know?
Yeah, my only worry is that if someone takes it in a really dark way, if someone listens to my song and does a helter skelter and like shoots up a place or some shit, be like, fuck.
Well,
it's not what I meant. It's really
not massacre.
All of a sudden, you're getting sued for putting these thoughts into our children's minds.
Yeah. That was a really dark place to put it, but this just came to mind.
Like, I don't know. That gives me like you know that Tyler the Creator song Radicals? It kind of sounds like that. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, that was like a bit overkill, but like still, if someone actually did that, it's just like, damn, that would you probably have a tremendous amount of guilt on yourself if you like. But then who are you to like?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, people will do what they're going to do, regardless of whether your stuff is dark or not. You know, if someone makes the choice to take that avenue, I mean, obviously, like, you know, if your lyrics are like "go and murder your mother" and you're an influence or something like that, then okay, maybe that's a little on the nose.
To a degree, but like, you know, we mentioned My Chemical Romance just before, and talking about like, you know, the height of emo and the height of like death metal and all that kind of shit in more mainstream culture. Like, how many fucking songs are young kids listening to talking about fucking demons and witches and murder and like fucking all kinds of shit?
Shows.
What about like even like mainstream hip hop, which is like the most streamed platform of music these days? It's so like misogynistic. It's so materialistic. It's even like you know, like killing everyone and shit. Like. And, you know, most people probably aren't going to go kill someone because they listen to, like, Travis Scott or whatever.
I mean, it's always been like that, hasn't it, to some degree? I mean, humans will always follow some sort of conformity or, you know, like, yes, there'll be, like, waves of where it will, sort of, you know, be maybe less misogynistic and maybe less about the material, less about the money, less about fucking shooting guns. But that is all part of human character. You know, you've got light, you've got shade, and I think whatever the era, that stuff plays out, and sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's what we do with it, right?
And it's definitely gotten better as well. Like, people coming down on hip hop right now, it's like there's a lot more parts of the conversation now. So let's keep working at it. Oh, this is a game. This got way more political, but it's fine.
That's okay. This is where it was organically going, and that's where it needed to go, and that's okay. What's the pandemic
we are
for?
running
It's
in
not to be political.
That's true. Well, my verse is I went political today. I can't not be at the
I
moment.
can't wait to hear what you guys have done. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you haven't heard it.
Well,
Minti,
I haven't heard anyone else.
would you like to update these guys on what you've been working on? If you've done any more since we last spoke?
I have. I've just been throwing like ambient things out there. So I've been doing some oohs, some ahs. I've been just trying to like smash it out really quickly because obviously we were on a bit of a time frame. So I put some like little intro bits which are basically there's no words. It's just something that can be manipulated and put behind rap. I've sent a maniacal laugh.
Can we get maybe an a cappella version of that just now?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
boy.
I didn't send that actually.
Careful what you wish for.
I should have actually sent that. Hey, man. I actually just got one from YouTube, because I was like, fuck, I don't think mine's going to be good enough.
I don't know, that was pretty
You didn't think yours was going to be... Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got it down.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Well, hold on. I'll just record that now. Hold on 2 seconds. I'll send that off to him.
You just got that down.
That's the
pretty
one.
good.
That's the take.
That's fucking amazing. Yes.
That's it.
I think I'm a little bit crazy from this Jameson chip.
It's a good
That
way to
seems like a
be.
very like nightmarish vibe.
Ivory.
Like you're about to enter this like void of just craziness. I like it though.
Hey, Ivory, big praise,
We'll just
big praise.
soak in this massive praise. Thank you, Ivory. Sorry, I'm covering up half your face with it, Jim.
That's fine.
Our biggest fan and our biggest, most amazing community members.
If anyone hasn't heard it yet, anyone in the chat hasn't heard Hellcat by Ivory Archer,
Yes.
I do believe it's on Spotify. Please tell me it's on Spotify, Ivory. The chat can check for me. Type it in, people. Type it in.
I swear I've heard it.
Put it on repeat.
I swear I've heard it on there.
I
Yeah.
reckon.
Oh yeah, it's on there.
Oh,
It's on there.
So catchy. I've constantly got the hook stuck in my head. And this and that. All the town in my Hellcat.
I think
Anyway.
the first time I heard that was at Boogeyman when she put a gig on for us. It was fucking so much fun.
That was
so much fun.
Beautiful.
Have we got the Doctor?
Actually, it looks like we have the Doctor's ready to come in. So Minty, we may maybe we'll hear your new take in the final cut. Who knows? Doctor, give us a thumbs up if you're ready to rock.
Hell yeah,
And
baby.
here he comes. Everybody say hello to the Doctor.
Let's go.
Hi guys, how you all doing?
Hola.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good, man.
Hey.
Pretty
Very
hard.
good.
Can't say how this worked out.
What do you think of my disco light?
Oh,
Ah,
Big
smash.
fan.
Yeah?
I feel the night fever.
I feel the vibes from here.
YMCA. That's why we're right there. Sorry. Okay,
It's great to hear what you guys have to say about your practice, about your artistic practice, about your lyrics and your approach to writing, to writing songs.
I love getting into it.
It's very much an important part of creating art, I guess.
Yes.
And it's interesting to share the process as well, and what things mean to people. Like different things will mean different things to people, and people will create from different parts of themselves and their experience and what they see and what they feel. So it's always really interesting to kind of hear what everyone's experience of writing and expressing is.
Can I put forward a suggestion, Minty? Can we get Jim Horde on the Vibe Union podcast at some point soon?
Absolutely. I should
Excellent,
bring out
excellent,
all of the
excellent.
mushrooms. I may even dress as a mushroom just for
You
you.
I would not take mushrooms for a podcast. I do not think that would.
Oh.
Like,
No. I would
maybe like
dress
a
as
microdose. Oh.
Yeah, microdose. You can do multiple takes. If it doesn't work, we do it another day.
Enough
There's plenty of
mushrooms to
shroom
work
in
out.
my garage. I mean,
Hell yeah, that'd be sick. I'm very down for that. Yeah, I've been enjoying what you've been saying today, Jim, and I want a full hour of it.
All right, thank you. I like that. I'm glad you guys have honored my word. Strange way to phrase it, but.
What other way to phrase it than the way that you did, which is just organic to you?
So, if we could, let's bring it over to the Doctor himself. Are there things that you would like to share with us at this stage? How have you been going? What's your journey been like tonight?
Well, Minti has been sending me quite a few files. I think I've got about 6 messages from Minti. So I just played around with a few of the stems, but the latest one, the ambient intro, you call it, which has you laughing, I think. I think, I think that could be the intro to the track, I reckon.
Yes.
Oh, great. We literally just did that while we're talking.
Yes.
That's how you make music.
I've got Rhath's sound. I haven't got Jim's sounds yet. Rhath, have you sent me Jim's sounds?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Okay. All right. So,
Jim, have you exported just your vocals? Because I've got only the version with the beat.
I totally got lost in conversation. Let me go do that.
That's all right, man.
I'll just mute the verse and then just send it through.
We got
Yep,
time.
easy.
Don't worry. Doesn't take long to send them.
True.
You can drop it in Discord again, and I'll handle it.
That's all right. What I'll do is I'll just share what I have got so far. So I'm just going to try and get the share thingy going.
And if the audio doesn't work, you can just send the file to me, and we'll play it on this end.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to quickly try and get the screen to... One sec.
Oh, I think I might sit down for this.
Are you able to see the Ableton screen?
Oh, yeah. Let's see if... we haven't got the Ableton screen shared at the moment.
Right, okay. Yeah, it's... I have to confess that I've got a very old Mac with a very old operating system. But, it does the job.
Exactly.
And...
That might be something interesting for people, actually, Pradeep, that everybody is coming in with a very different system, and we're making what we have available to us work.
That's right.
Which is a really wonderful thing. Does anyone have any questions about different programs that are being used tonight?
It seems like you're all using Ableton.
Not all of us.
100%. Ableton family.
I was curious and quite surprised that no one's using FL Studio, which is really big in the hip hop communities, especially I guess especially amongst beat makers.
Yeah, for sure. I think Sixpence uses FL, actually.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
I find
I only do.
Sorry, Jim. One more time.
Yeah. I don't actually make instrumentals. I've never made a bit in my life.
True.
Would you like to start?
The next thing.
I don't know. I feel like something right now is just so far away from me, but I probably should because it would probably make me have a better understanding on you just not just the simple stuff within music, like drum loops and all that.
That's true. That's very true.
Like I said, I came into music with just only knowing how to write poetry.
Actually, Jimmy, how long have you been making music?
So probably since last year June. I'm still pretty new to the scene, and my mate back
that is very new.
The guy that produced Boy in Astra, he has a very good musical understanding because he's been around music since he was 6. See that man on the piano, it's fucking amazing. So I guess just obviously helped a lot having the producer, but it is harder to we're still working on stuff, but obviously it's harder to just bounce and forth when it's only online now. And the same with my brother that I'm also making music with. But I guess.
But keep tracking at it, Jim. Keep tracking, because I only started Ableton last year in September, and if you keep working at stuff, even if you're using free programs, you will
Yes.
You got to tune into Rhath, Chris. Yes,
you do. Yes, you do.
I don't know. I feel right now I'm still more confident in I'm in a place where I feel vocally I'm just really obsessed with music right now. But maybe when that gets a bit more like, okay, I'm ready to kind of sit back and it's also like I said, I do not understand music that well.
Hey, Jim, I'd love to share something with you. So last year in September, before that point, I was terrified of writing music.
Yeah.
And till that point, and I'm 35, I had no confidence in my ability to be able to write. I started with a live free trial and in September last year, and I just kept working and working, and I didn't play an instrument. I was like, well, fuck, I can't play an instrument. But slowly I started to build my skills really slowly. And it started off, and it was fucking shit house, man. It was so bloody woeful. Exactly. But then I became, as you said, obsessed with music, and I started to listen to lots of different things. And what I did was I didn't play an instrument. So I was like, well, that's okay. I'm going to use my ears and I'm going to just explore. So I implore you to try all the different types of music programs in their free trial period and muck around, because man, like seriously, I've found the improvement from September to now exponential, because I've just thrown myself into it and gone, okay, I'm just going to give it a go. I'm just going to fucking fuck it. I'm just going to give it a go, you know? So
something that your journey though speaks to, Minty, I think, is immersing yourself in music in other ways, because you've got a musical theatre background, do you not? And also like perform and some jazz as well, right? So I think that
working professionally in theatre,
well, but my point not being that people don't need to go and learn some jazz or anything like that, but simply getting immersed in something, I think, just broadens your understanding of it. So yeah, even if that's making beats, or if that's learning keyboard or playing in a band, even if it's a totally different genre, anything like that, like that kind of shit, I find absolutely invaluable. Starting like my career starting in like rock bands and blues bands and shit like that has I see like hip hop producers who have only produced on a keyboard, and I can like a laptop keyboard. I mean, not like a musical keyboard, like a laptop keyboard. And I see this. They know the technical side of how to make a beat, how to put it on the grid, but to write a song, that's a whole other thing. And
just keep listening to stuff, Jim, because honestly, I think if you train your ears to be able to hear all the different genres and beats and melody lines, then you can do anything. It's just about as Rhath says, it's just about immersing yourself in something. Very nice. There you go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, immersing yourself in something, and it'll grow. You know, and you're already starting that, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I like that. I do like it. Yeah, and I love to work with like different types of people and shit. Like, just it would be a pretty interesting avenue to take.
Definitely.
I guess I'm just gonna ask, like, what do we do with this song when it is finished? Like, does it just
goes on YouTube to start with, but I think there'll be a point further down the road where we decide to take these sessions and evolve them, like take them to the next level, get them remixed and all that.
Sort of like a second mixtape or something.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
VU album.
There we go.
Are you working on any new tunes at the moment, Jim?
Yeah. Like I said, I just bought the new mic. So before just having that mic was like just kind of putting me off. But now I've got a new mic. Yeah, I've got like two that I'm like nearly ready to finish. I'm just waiting on like one of them. I need to do the vocals. I'm just being lazy. But then the other one, I'm just waiting for like the finalized beat. And they're very like different from each other. Like one of them is very like upbeat and like spoken. I think I performed both of them on the stream on like very older versions of them, but they're very far from like the first song I have. And I don't know. I guess like I listen to a very very large range of music, so it's just you just pick and choose how you want to perform from just like how you. It's like almost like copy until you know what you're doing properly.
Absolutely. And honestly, feel free to reach out to anybody in the community. And if you want to just know about a new artist, a new style, a new whatever, just reach out, because that will inevitably really help you, because the more you listen to different stuff, the better your ears will get.
100%. And it's just like, I love it, like when you get a song and like sometimes I listen to music and it's just like you hear a song, you're like, this makes me want to listen to music or like make music. Like I get that. Or just seeing like people perform live. Like I think a big part of me is like I just cannot wait to go on like a stage. Like that's such a big part of music that I feel like I would just really be like good at. Like it's just performing. I just cannot wait to just like tear up a stage. Like, that's just,
Another thing as well is you got to Brian, is you got to kill your babies. Sometimes you just got to kill your babies. You can't control your babies.
Timeless wisdom.
You know,
I'm writing that down. That's a good quote. Thank you, Minty.
I think early on,
send that to the
people
police.
can feel precious about their ideas, but fuck, if you've had the idea once, it's there. Don't trust it, believe, and know that you have the capacity to come back to that idea. And you know, if it doesn't work for one thing, it's going to work for something else. So kill those babies. Don't be scared to kill those babies.
100%. And sometimes you make a song, it turns out kind of shit, but like there's a few bars on that, and you put it on something else. You're like, okay, this is sounding better now. So it's just like I like that aspect, because I've probably got like 30 songs just like over YouTube beats, and a lot of them are just like trash. But then there's like a few that I could like actually make this more.
You got to write those. You got to work through those early days. You got to just keep going.
Absolutely. And
I think also something that I find
just
rewarding.
put it down and move away from it, and then come back to it.
I find it rewarding, like showing people that like you're very close with, especially like I said when I was making the breakup album, and then when I was showing my friends like the very early versions of these songs. They were like, they could probably see it in a very different way than if I just showed you guys, because obviously they were like in it with me. So it was just, it's cool to,
because obviously like... as well. Wow.
Wow, yeah. It wasn't
maybe a dark horse. Let me just get some coconut oil.
I've been called out.
Well, you know, modern love is all about, you know, being limitless somewhat.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I know what you mean though, Jim. Like a couple of the first songs that I wrote, like, of course the first people that I showed them to were close friends of mine, and you know, like some of the things, it's like they'd probably be able to understand like what I meant by a certain thing, but then obviously there's stuff that you'll put into lyrics that you won't necessarily find such a succinct way to say just in a conversation, and I think it's a really cool way to share those kinds of things with the people that you care about.
Yeah, 100%.
And like I remember having those experiences, they'd heard them and been like, oh, no shit, that's what's going on in your head. That's really cool to know.
I think one of the coolest things I ever heard from, it was one of my best mates back home when I was with the guy that I make music with, who's also like a pretty good mate. He was like there with us because they're like really good friends, and he was like, oh, you know, that was pretty cool because I really got to see a side of you that I haven't, and it's so like such a vulnerable kind of side. You know, obviously you can talk deep and everything, but like seeing that is just like, it's pretty special.
It's
raw.
It's
just like, it's raw. It's just gritty, and it's just I feel like it's beautiful to let people in, because you know we do make music for ourselves, but we also do want to.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
Mashes, I'm just going to jump in. Mashes had a great idea. Could be quite interesting for people to tune into the Doctor mucking around with the stems.
Yeah, I need to go to the toilet.
Thank you for that.
Please take your leave.
Hey, right, take a five. Take five.
We'll pop you out
enjoy
for a moment
that
there,
piece
Jim.
or that shit, whatever it is. May it be felt with gratitude.
A gentleman never says it.
Of course. Of course. We'll see you in a little while. Yeah. Docta, how would you feel about talking us through a little bit as you're placing stems? We'll maybe get the screen sharing going on.
Yeah, are you able to see the screen?
We can bring it up right now, yeah.
Yep, cool. So look, it's a very rough draft version. So it's just, it's interesting. So I've got this to channels. So I've got this on arrangement view, which is where I do most of my writing. And I've created these two vocal channels called, well, since Minti's stems were the first ones I got, I think the first out of the 6 packets she sent me. So we've got Minti Vox 1 and Minti Vox 2, but it's actually Rhath has his Vox in the same channel too. So it's just a very rough kind of sketch. I tried to color code the hook or the chorus, and so I've just got the instrumental sections as in yellow, and that's Minti in orange, and 2 different types of orange, 2 different shades of orange.
Color coding the sections.
Well, it's easier for me to remember what and then kind of like especially when I've got heaps of stuff on screen, and I've got I guess you've just sent me Jim stuff, so I've got an idea where I'm going to put Jim stuff based on what I've heard him deliver. So what I've got is a kind of an intro to the whole track, which is not going to have any kicks or bass in it, just the melody, the chord progression that you heard, and maybe hi-hats, because hi-hats add a bit of that groove and that that kind of shuffle. Yeah. And then we're going to have 2 verses. So I'm just going to play it out of it's going to come through the mic, so it's not going to sound as good, but so there's going to be the first verse, which is Rhath's verse. Are you able to hear something?
Yeah, we can hear that.
Yeah.
Can't hear Rye's vocal very loudly though.
Quite quiet.
It's quite quiet, so I might have to bring it up. Or what I might have to do sometimes is, this is what I guess producers do all day, all night. I might actually have to go into his vocals and maybe do something with maybe the gain or add something to it, like a flanger or something. So, because it's a bit quiet. Let's have another listen. How's it now?
It's getting there.
Do you ever use vocal chains, Predict, for increasing the volume on a track? And
no.
In general?
Did you you did see that I sent because there's the dry vox, which I think you've got there, and there's also a zip file, hopefully, that has
You're smart, right?
6 other channels, and also that one processed.
Oh yeah, I've got all that. Yep, and I've also got a new message from you, Rye. Rhath, that's got. I imagine that's got Jim stuff in there.
That's right.
Yeah, I've got it. So I'll have to download them.
No.
So that's obviously the way I work is I get all your stuff and then I put it together, and then obviously I take my time, go through it, back and forth, listen to it a few times, sometimes take a break and then come back to it. So I guess, are you after the finished track tonight?
Sort of like a rough kind of like everyone's vocals in place. But I'm sure there'd still be some extra stuff that you might want to place around. But everyone's vocals in place, and just even if that's just over the basic loop, just to get a feel for like the structure and what everyone sounds like all on the same track.
A demo, if you will.
A demo.
It's just a demo,
That's a good word for it.
It just doesn't have to be finished, polished. Just vocals in place with a rough idea of where you'd like to have them, and at a volume that sort of matches the loop, and that's it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just so we get a bit of a rough idea.
Sure,
for sure.
If we can let you do that.
What I was thinking, if you'd like, we can pivot a little bit over to Minti. Minti had a little bit of some extra like ad libs and a couple of fresh harmonies potentially. I'm not sure what you had in store for us. We could have a listen to that while you chuck on people's extra couple of stems that you've got there.
Sure. So I might disappear for a bit and then do a bit of tweaking, and then when I'm ready, I'll come back.
Yeah, sounds beautiful.
Too easy.
Been a pleasure having you. Let us know when you're good to go.
Okay, I'll share my screen.
You guys can
Rhath,
play for a second.
Would you like to stick around, or are you heading off?
I'm not heading off. Well, I will
Yeah.
duck for a second, but I'll be back.
For sure.
I'm back, baby.
He's got to excrete as well. It's the whiskey.
Maybe.
Okay, so shall we just start with the laugh? Why is it only really short? There you go.
Very nice.
So after
Absolutely maniacal.
That's fucking wild. Thank you, Jameson.
I can't believe that you went to the internet before yourself to get that maniacal laugh.
I did. I don't know. Yeah. That's something I think that's a constant process for creative, is that actually trusting in what you have and going, well, just do it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least try. I definitely didn't think I could do a good enough laugh.
I'm glad we talked.
I was like, I must go to the maniacal.
Sounds great.
So after our discussion earlier about kind of like this little bit of a different tone, like working on a non-Western sound, I started to play around, and I look, to be honest, I rushed it. I could have done a better job. So if I had more time to do this, I would probably just spend a bit more time actually refining it. So I sang it once, and I'm like, that'll do. Which is
the rough comp. It's the demo version.
Yeah, exactly. And I would probably put on some other. The turtle appeared again. Thank you.
Yeah, that's yeah.
What's the song from Witches of Eastwick? That's a great song. Oh yeah. Straight click, fucking. God, I'm throwing F-bombs all over the place. So here we go. Here's what I sent Pradeep, which was kind of. I don't know whether you call it Middle Eastern setting. I don't know. Oh God, fuck.
Well, I think maybe a little volume turned down on that maniacal laugh. Casting a spell on my eardrums there a little bit. Oh, let's get your screen share up. Yeah, let's get the show.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah. Beautiful. There we go.
Oh no, hang on. Why have I got so many things on? Hang on, I've got to mute some shit because there's a whole bunch of other random crap. Oh, here we go. Ambient intro.
In the meantime, I'd love to hear from people their favourite witch-related media. Personally, I always had a soft spot for that film. I feel like it was like early 2000s, The Craft, if anyone remembers that. Yes, surely. I don't know, I think you might be muted. You might have muted yourself, actually, Minty. Cool.
All right, back to my live mic.
Yep.
So,
Beautiful.
could you hear that the purple and the green have? Yeah, it's a great film, isn't it, Liz?
So good. Very unsettling. The bit with all the snakes and oh god. Actually, the hair falling out, that bit messed me up the most, and with the skin.
Like, you know what? I can't fucking remember. I just remember like the outfits and the attitude.
I remember the girl from who's also the only other film I've ever seen her in was Waterboy with Adam Sandler. She was
God.
The head, like the mean witch girl.
Hang on, I gotta fucking Google this shit.
But that's a big tangent. Now let's talk about music. What are we talking about, Minty?
So you'll hear. Just have I'll solo.
Oh. Soloed yourself out of our ears.
Sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solo a track. Everything that I've sent is completely dry vocal. There's no effects on it whatsoever. So when you get a dry vocal, I've been playing around with like recording with dry vocals and recording with like a vocal chain, which is something that you can do to change some of the aspects of the vocal tone. You can soften some of the sounds. But you have a question?
I was making noises in agreement, but I do actually have a question. Would you call what you just described a de-esser for the folks at home?
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, use a de-esser. I looked up you can find really good short videos on how to create a vocal chain on Ableton on YouTube. I remember when I first started Ableton, I was really overwhelmed with like how much, and I still feel like, oh God, there's so much I still don't know. But actually there's quite a lot of like short videos. So to create a vocal chain, you can actually just look that up on YouTube, and there's like an 11-minute video, and it's great. So what I've sent to the doctor is a completely dry vocal. So this is in its raw form. So from that to then hearing a completely produced, mixed, affected voice, there can be quite a big difference. But I'll play you the dry vocal. So I'm going to go, you won't hear me. So I just want you to have a listen out for how the melody changes and then goes a little bit kind of, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's maybe not exactly Western sounding. I don't know.
Okay.
Feel free to comment.
Let's see if we can hear it.
This is ambient low.
Yeah, I think I hear what you mean. There's that little gliss that happens in the middle there of the second.
Exactly. I think it might even be a part of the Indian vocal scale. Like that's yeah. So I think that's kind of where that's coming from. But that first one, the second one that I played, which is the high one, for example, is out of tune. So that's where then you'd go back and you go, okay, well, I need to listen to that again and then just fix the tuning on that. Because you want to try and make it as clean as possible so that you don't have to put that much of effect on it. You know, if you can make a clean, crisp, dry vocal, that's great. That's really what you want, as much as possible. But obviously we're on a time limit, so I was like, oh, well, that's going to have to do.
Save that for the finished one, for the final release.
Well, it's only minor, so you know, for this it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, it's so much fun, like playing around with harmonies and stuff like that. You know, what's your experience of harmony, Jake?
You know, I used to sing a lot when I was really little.
How little? Like in utero?
In utero, yes. I would sing. My parents would sing opera to me through my mother's belly, and I would sing back. No, sorry.
Through her womb.
Yeah. No,
womb
I was in a
escape.
choir when I was like 11, 12. I was in the Australian Youth Choir, and then I was in another choir actually when I was not that little, when I was like 16, 17, with my mum and my sister.
Oh, that's awesome. What kind of choir?
That one was just kind of like just sort of community, like maybe like 10 people were in it. It's pretty small, not like the Australian Youth Choir that was like wearing the blue, the fancy, not that fancy robes and the singing the religious songs and everything. Like
and
that.
choralography.
Choralography, I'm not sure what that is.
Yes, that's choreography for choral groups.
Oh, that makes. I mean, I feel like you made that up, but I like it.
No, it's real. It's
real.
real.
Oh, okay, no kidding.
Yes, choralography. Yes, it's real.
That's
And
cool.
in the community choir, what kind of stuff did you do? Was it like folk, jazz? Oh,
We like you too.
I like you, man. Who are you? Because I don't know who you are.
I don't. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now as well. I don't actually remember what kind of music we were doing in the choir, but like my experience with harmonies and all that kind of stuff is I Yeah, after my voice broke, I kind of had a lot less confidence in my singing voice because I would keep trying to hit notes that I hadn't been able to hit since I was like 13 years old, which is kind of where I'm gradually clawing my way out of now. I've started
I see that there, love.
I've been experimenting with them a little bit in some of the music that I've made, like the last few tracks. Actually, one of the first tracks that I performed on an open mic live stream, there was a lot of harmonic stuff going on. Like I just kind of laid a whole bunch of different like definitely not any words being said, just like kind of.
Was that in a mother's room? Was that really, and it had that kind of almost tribal forest
for sure.
feel? I freaking love that track.
Sure.
I remember that. I remember those and you had like a few little moments where it came in and then came out. Did you use it at the beginning, I think, as well, didn't you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that was really fun. I'm actually super keen to do a little bit more of that. I mean, yourself and Alta and just harmonies are beautiful, and it's such a really lovely way to organically bring that, just like, because, you know, people who are into music and who listen to a lot of music and muck around with making it generally, I reckon have a pretty good ear for it. And I think doing stuff with your voice can be a really good way to take advantage of that natural ear for music that you have, because trying to like work out how scales work and using a MIDI keyboard and trying to like program drum patterns is a lot harder, I think, than just taking your instinct for music when you've immersed yourself into it so much.
I definitely find... Oh, sorry, you finished. Sorry, finish your thought.
I was going to say, a technique that I would love to offer to people who are mucking around and getting started on beat making is something that, like, when I have no idea where to take a track, always saves me. Is literally just like putting the track on and just allowing myself to just vibe out and make really dumb noises with my voice and see how that sounds, and then literally recording that with a microphone. Even I used to do it on my USB microphone when I didn't have a proper one, and then I would just go back and copy, like, just try and match the noises that I was making with instruments and different drums and that sort of thing. Like, just be like, okay, so I went like so like, okay, I'm gonna get myself a kick and I'll get a snare and I'll, you know, match them up to exactly where those peaks are in the waveform, and like just do that. And doing that with your vocals as well, like for making synths or something like that.
Very cool. I'm definitely going to try that next time. That's
something
cool.
that can be really fun too, and I'd love to chat with you more about this at some stage if you like, is making instruments out of your voice. So like using those harmonies and adding like effects to it, or detuning. I'm not
sure what that instrument is. I was trying to do a trumpet, but it didn't work.
Trumpets are my favorite. I love doing trumpets.
I can't fucking do a trumpet. I'd love you to show me sometime.
Hang on.
Thank you. That's what a trumpet should sound like.
That's a trumpet. Oh, I like that. That's cool. That's some ambience right there. We can use that.
And also, I'd be curious to know about the thing with microphone technique too, because I've found learning how to use a condenser it's just completely changed how I use my instrument and use my instrument intuitively. You know, it's like you can then start to explore the sounds, as you're saying, the sounds that you have within you, and you can kind of find different textures and qualities, all by just you having just a set of headphones, a condenser mic, or a live mic if that's all you've got, and tuning in to those different textures and sounds, and just exploring those sounds and seeing what comes out. You know, like, you know, all sorts of things.
Yes. Yes.
I love the accent before too. I was sad you didn't continue with it.
Which accent was that? Oh, yes.
Well-
I think this one I actually stole from you.
Yes,
And that's
yes,
one of yours.
yes,
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 indeed. You do
yes,
it a lot better than I ever could.
If you
Yes,
just call me
everybody.
a dirty old bastard,
This
you
is-
fucking mole.
This is vibration creation. This is what we're all here for. And
Yes.
so I'm just going to direct your attention to some lovely feedback we're hearing from some people in the comments. We've got Elizabeth. Loves the vibrato. Thank you very much. Very lovely to hear. That's oh, down for a dip below the surface with shotgun kiss. Oh,
Yeah,
we're learning about the ocean
it's
now. My
Right.
Octopus Teacher. Interesting
Fucking brilliant.
documentary. If anyone's seen it.
You know, the brain's a bit like an octopus because
That's
if you think about it, it's like an
probably true.
octopus put together. You know, it's like wrapped and that's round. And then if you just think about it opening up, it's like a big octopus that's just curled up within itself. Oh, God. Oh, it's a mouthful.
Deep, very deep. Deep is the ocean in which said octopus lives.
That's a callback
Got
to
some-
a conversation that a mother and I had. Hi.
Oh, I understand. The old slip the in joke. Slip the in joke in. Well, I'm sure Arthur will appreciate it. I'd just like to direct our attention to this.
Cool,
I'm gonna soak this in. Oh wow. And Ivory, absolutely. Oh my gosh. If anyone here has not heard Arthur perform,
After 3, 1, 2, 3.
so I didn't know what we were doing. And we're learning a little bit
That's what we were doing.
about barnacles now. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's so hard to keep up. I'm kind of like trying
It
to.
is, I know, and chat, just so that you know, it's not that I'm ignoring you for 30 seconds. There is a little bit of a delay from when I'm speaking and when you're hearing it, so I feel like we've done a great job, though, of maintaining a conversation in spite of these technological limitations.
You and I, or with us in the audience?
Us in the audience. Us in the audience.
Yes.
You and I, yeah. It's been okay.
You bitch. I still think we have to have that session, like you said, offline. I love a good accent. They're great. I love the farm accent. Do you like the
Lawn
farm
bowls
accent?
commentary.
You think
It
we
sounds
see
like
there-
Stewie
there
from
was a
Family
bowl?
Guy. True, I feel that actually. Yeah. Like, I honestly, I never really watched Family Guy, and I'm struggling to get that accent back. But I think I know what you mean, Elizabeth.
I think that there is a bowl over there. I think that he's gonna get it. There he goes with that bowl. He's gonna go. I believe it's it. I believe it's a hole in one. Oh.
Holy smokes! I want to see that lawn bowls game. It always looks boring as hell when I watch it.
Oh God.
When I watch it, basically when I used to sit
You
on the
watch
couch
it?
with my grandparents, like they'd just be watching it. I'm like, cool. When can I watch Pokemon? When are you guys gonna stop watching TV? So I
Mine
can
was
watch
Paul.
Pokemon?
Bowl?
Oh,
No, it was
okay.
Paul. Yeah, Paul.
Oh, thank you very much, MQ. Been lovely having you in the chat. Lovely having everyone in the chat. This has been a
gonna
nice
miss
vibe
you,
to
Mash.
kick around with. I miss everyone. Far out.
Yeah. I
know?
know. Gosh. Oh, that's a nice bit of. Yeah, you know what? That might be
That's
a
a
moment to take a nice breath, right? How are we all
Yeah,
feeling?
yeah,
We
yeah.
wanna just take
Collective breath for everyone. That's actually such a good
Yeah.
shout. Well, let's have one of those.
shake out that nervous energy. Get rid of that breath. Breathe big in. Fill all the lungs and all your belly and your heart space. And breathe out. Breathe out all the worry and all that stress. Breathing in the collective beautifulness that is around you, that energy. Hold that energy in your heart space. And breathe that out. And one more just for good luck. Breathing in all that beautiful energy, that juicy goodness. Let it fill every part of your body. And a big sigh out. Ah.
Thank you for that. It's a good way to be recentered after all this time in the digital world.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to see some of your emojis in the
Thanks for the little sesh.
miniature sesh. Love to see some of your emojis in the chat. Whatever is feeling on the tip of your tongue, on the whatever you're feeling, just pop that in an emoji form. Ooh. I don't know why I made that sound.
Let's see what people got. We love seeing the breath in emoji form.
Oh, this is nice. Elizabeth has written a lovely comment. Oh. Yes. Wow, it seems so quiet and there's no noise.
I
Oh,
muted
there it
myself.
comes the noise. All right, then the noise has returned. Thank you for that, Liz.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, because
Oh.
someone close to me has been like collaborating with people lately, like trying to start to get a bit of a band off the ground, and just thinking about like trying to get the improvisational energy. Kind of tricky, like good if you have the means to record what you're making and share it with one another, but I think for some people's workflow, just doing everything on a computer and just having it all piecemeal like that works completely fine. Like I know people might be aware of, I don't know if he's got a YouTube account or not, but Jesse Jackson has made a whole bunch of Vibe Union beats. He's produced a lot of the beats for VU tracks, and he's amazing to watch work, like at the computer, and just knows how everything works, can just like visualize, like see the music visually as well, and just work through it like that. But folks, say at the other end of the spectrum, who really want to hear it like it's like an improvised thing for them, and they want to be in the room with the people who are making music. So I feel like that, I don't know, I found that hard. That's been a really big change, not being able to have that like really much at all, if ever.
That's something that's still a work in progress. I think this is probably at the moment, this is the closest that we're getting to some kind of improvisation, because we're on the spot writing, and we don't know exactly what's happening with one another. But unfortunately, I guess due to the internet and there being delays, we haven't yet been able to figure that out, because I know a lot of my friends who work in the music industry in different genres, and friends of mine in the theatre world have had the same issue. There hasn't been a platform to enable someone to sing or perform in one place and in another place at the same time, and have that the cohesion of the two instruments or vocals together at the same time, unfortunately. But hopefully, I guess, given the state of where the world is at, I think that's something that will be developed, because it's going to have to be, you know. I mean, people need the ability to be able to be spontaneous and to just explore.
We need them quantum computers start happening.
That's right.
Instantaneous computation. Got a lot of emojis coming through. With the emojis are paying dividends here. Here, I'll pop them up for you.
Oh, this is
Got some love hearts from Kelsey. Alta's feeling the artistic vibes.
Thanks so much, everyone. It's lovely. So lovely to see all the love and the support coming in, and I know that it's as much a joy for us as I'm sure it is for you, because it just shows in the comments. And you know, and speaking of that, Jake, I think we might have a little something that's just possibly in the horizon. There is something. You can't find the eggplants. Is that a
Yeah, I think pretty soon we'll have a demo version to play for the folks in the audience. In the meantime, I'd love to take this opportunity to
float that we do have a bit of a tip jar going for Vibe Union. Obviously, where we are in the state of the world at the moment, plenty of folks may not be in a position that they want to chuck money towards anything, and that is totally fine. Having people here is the biggest thing, and I want to thank everyone here
Energetic
for
contribution.
being a part of it and sharing those energetic contributions with each other and engaging with each other in the chat. That is easily the biggest thing. We have the tip jar as a way to essentially make sure that when we start coming out of these lockdowns, we can hit the ground running, we can get the word out about events, we can
put on events for you.
Events that we have go off, and we can bring these lovely community spaces into the real world, because I am grateful that I'm lucky enough to have been a part of those physical community spaces earlier in the year when they were a thing, and I'm really looking forward to them. And those folks who have only started tuning in whilst we've been doing these online, I can't wait to have you there.
Yeah,
that's why we've got it going.
There's
so
so much
you can check out the link in the description. Sorry, Minty.
No, you're fine, darling.
You can
It's always
check out
hard with the delay.
Yeah, absolutely. You can check out the link in the description if you feel like chucking a few bucks towards VU to help us.
No small, there is no, what's the word?
No amount is too small.
Thank you. Yeah. No amount is too, yeah. What Jake said. And also, like, it's really lovely to have people giving energetic contributions, because it just makes it just really helps the whole community grow, and sharing the word and giving each other the love and the support, as opposed to having that tall poppy syndrome. That's a huge thing. And I think we just keep going, and watch this space. There's a lot more stuff coming. We're going to be having a few things. We're going to be having a few international aspects coming into VU. We've got some other little ideas in the works that I won't yet speak about, because they're still in the works. But do watch this space, because there's some cool stuff coming. Yeah,
absolutely. On that note, if we can get thumbs up from any of the artists who are ready to drop in, we'll bring some folks back into the stream, and I think we may be about ready to hear a demo. Say hello to Rhath, everybody.
We have the bladder.
Yeah. I'm not looking at the screen, so tell me when I'm on.
All right.
You're on,
you are on, Rye. You are on.
Beautiful. I'm doing other things.
Are we ready for the Docta as well? If so, give us a thumbs up. If not, here we go. We got him. He's on the way.
The shotgun kisses.
The Enigma. How are we doing, everybody?
Good. Should I stop sharing the screen?
Would you like to stop, or would you like it to come up onto the stream?
I think what we can do is, after we've heard the track, then we can go through the screen. I can share the screen to just go through the workflow so far.
Yeah,
that
sounds
would be great.
awesome.
Yeah. So maybe we listen to the track first. I'll just stop momentarily, and then we can get back to it.
Jacket on.
All right, everybody. Are we ready for the drums? Emojis. Can we get some drum roll emojis in the chat, please? Anticipatory emojis is what we need.
Boy, oh boy.
Build it up, build it up, build it up. What do we got?
Docta
Explosion.
has given us...
Hype.
You've given us an epic.
Just in time, babe.
The Docta, you've given us an epic here. I'm counting 6 minutes 40 seconds on my clock.
Big boy.
Well, some of that is just padding.
So
somebody's going to be done with that.
Love a good pad.
You've given me so much material, so I need to have different sections. So it's probably going to be a 3.5 minute, 4 minute track at the end.
Yeah.
I could just make a 6 minute track, man. We got all the time in the world.
60-minute track. Let's hear it.
I might put my foot down on that one. I'm not sure about all that.
All right, everybody. Are we ready? Are we ready to hear the demo?
Let's hear where we're at.
Let's
kick it.
Okay, volume up.
Yo, Rye. It ain't coming through.
Oh, no?
No.
Very quiet.
I think we're hearing it through your headphones.
That makes sense. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and now we're ready to go. Now, that all makes sense, actually. Better?
Better.
Higher?
Bit more volume.
All right.
Nice.
Waking and dreaming, blurring, I'm stirring to slumber to wake again, spin around, I'm going down. This rabbit hole got me repeating, leaving a bitter taste in my mouth. So slip in the ground, my feet skating, escaping the limits of gravity. And can you get a hold of me? Feet pumping and taking the words from me, running the nightmare, living in this reality. Fingers left as knobs, keep up with the blood, hands praying with the sub. Can I ever get enough? Can I ever be above? Can I ever soar high? Can I ever be mine again? Now I'm forgetting how I got here at all. And now I'm running and running and running and running this down, oh. And now I'm running and running and writing this down, yeah.
On the dance floor, you know I'm proud. It is FYM. Trying to find a better, but that's the it. So go at the end. Take out the order of the break. Yeah. Trying to go home. You up on my phone. Give me back my pump so I can hug. I wanna come. So I'm a keep picking off by the beat. So my it's so fucked up, and don't break it. Look, dive on, so I'm just live on, big, take up, kill, ground, in, down, and
To those listening along, there will be a re-edit of the previous part.
All part of the
I think I need
creation.
to rework the second verse.
Yeah.
You've been taking the shrooms, man.
I think that's pretty much it. And then we've got another chorus with Minti. I just copied and pasted. Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah.
I might put, because Minti has given me so much, I might put some of the other stuff in the second chorus.
Yeah.
Just a little
But
bit.
I
I do feel like there's a fair amount of like empty space that could be cut.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I do need to tighten a few things there.
I mean, I was like, my verse was like flat out fire. I was like,
I know.
It couldn't make it through. It
What
was
happened
struggling
there?
to
Was it,
even
like,
be
the
transmitted
MP3?
digitally.
Yeah.
So first of all, hang on, I'm getting delayed. I'm getting a version of
Yeah,
myself.
there you go. Uh-oh.
Wait, is that fixed?
Oh,
No.
Not quite, no.
Where am I hearing that?
Well,
This is all part of the process, though, too. You know, like figuring out how to put things together. And this is a new age that we're in, and this is part of the journey. And it's amazing to be able to learn and grow with one another, you know, and figure these things out together. That's what we're all here for, right?
Where is that echo coming from?
yeah, I'm confused.
Who knows? Oh dear, I just farted.
oh dear.
It's not me. I just muted myself.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Someone got, like,
Potentially, if it's coming
Not
through.
me, I muted.
Oh, let's see here.
Was it
Wait,
me?
Yo, how's it going? No, I can't hear it anymore.
I
That's
think
better.
it may have been coming
That's
from the
gone.
Docta. Yeah. Docta, I've just I've chucked a mute on your audio for now. Just I think that's where we're getting the echo from. But feel free to unmute yourself.
I think it's the microphone in the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You know, and then what you're hearing from me, and then there's also were you hearing something like this? Say something.
Hello?
hello.
Yeah. Oh wait.
For sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I was playing around with the mixer.
Okay.
Yeah. So is there any echo now?
Hello.
No.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Yeah.
Doctor, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
As a writer, and well, in this sense, of doing the producing, do you find having the solo stem sent to you easier, or do you prefer to have it lined up with the MP3?
Yeah, I think it's better to line it up. So what happens is, like, say if I had time, what I would do is, especially with Jim's vocals, because that was the last thing I got. I probably, and I very quickly put it there, and then I made some guesses, and I think that was incorrect. That was a wrong guess I made. So I moved it a bit towards the grid. I probably should have not done that, and I think that's probably what fucked it up a bit. But what I would normally do, so when I'm working with, like in my band, I work with people who play instruments. So they sent me the track lined up to the backing track, so that beat. So what they would have is they'll have one version where it's the guitar or trumpet, whatever, lined up to the backing track, and another one which is just the stuff they're giving me. Then I can do that. Then I can sort of okay, that's where things should come. Otherwise, I am making a guess.
Hard for you, isn't it? Yeah.
And I'm not a rapper, so I said there was, because when I think Jim, you on purpose decided to start before the downbeat, didn't you?
Yeah, like a little bit earlier.
Yes. Yeah. That's
because it was like a rainy syllable. I was trying to go kind of.
Yeah, there was a few artifacts there that sort of broke up. Now, Ableton sometimes does create funny things when you sort of import something and then you warp it. Warping is a great tool in Ableton warping, but you got to be very careful. And so I've probably needed a bit more time for that. So I'm sorry, Jim, that I didn't quite get it right. But yeah, so now I get it that you wanted to start a bit before the downbeat, but would be good. I think, Minty, your vocals are a bit easier because they're a bit more kind of like a texture, more like an instrument in that sense.
Yes, I think I should have sent you an MP3 though anyway, because I think they were a little bit out of sync as well. It would have been helpful for you.
Okay.
It just makes it a bit easier.
I think what we may do here, we're approaching the 3-hour mark for the stream, and our lovely viewers have been tuned into us for all this time. They've been along on the journey with us, and we've got the demo out there. The demo's been shown. Luckily, everyone got to have a listen to your vocals a little bit earlier on, Jim. And folks who are watching, the tightened up demo version, the full version of the track will be released on Vibe Union socials at some point within the next
week or two.
I would say the next week or two. We don't want to rush it, but if you keep an eye on @vibe.union on Instagram and on Facebook or YouTube, you will see it come up. You'll be able to listen to the whole thing.
And that's what this process is for, isn't it, Jake? And everyone who's writing tonight, this is a live writing stream, and we never know what it's going to be like. And this is all the process of exploration and learning and growing. And what are we doing? We're learning and growing, right?
Well said, Minty. So, I would like to take a moment on behalf of everyone who is watching to thank all of you for coming on here and spending your time collaborating with each other, and for doing it in such a public way as well. I've been on the other side of it too. I know the time crunch and everything like that, so I want to say thank you to all of you guys for doing that. And I want to thank everyone in the chat for tuning in and for watching us put all of this together.
Just on our way out, I was thinking, I've got my version, I've got Jim's verse as well set up. Minty, I believe you've got your side of things set up as well, right?
Yeah.
Do we just want to each present our verses as our closer, and that way everyone kind of gets to experience like the nice condensed, just the takes, what we've laid down, and then you'll see the full version pop up on Vibe Union socials. In next week or so.
Mine's not in any order.
I go
that sounds cool.
Right, because they would you are doing the chorus, so wouldn't it make sense if you in the middle, and then me and Rhath can start or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
cool. That sounds like a great idea.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm just going to kick it off straight up with what I've got here, and then Minty, you can give us some tasters of what you've given us, and then I'll play Jim's verse on my end as well to take us out, and that'll be a nice.
So if you like, what we could do, we could say our goodbyes now, and we'll chuck up the Vibe Union banner, and people can have a bit of a listen through to the track. What do you reckon?
Yeah,
all right.
Beautiful.
Very fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Let's all wave goodbye. Goodbye to everybody. Thank you for being in the chat.
See you next time.
Thank you for being here. Much love to you all. I'm just going to pop up some comments real quick. We see you. Thank you.
I'm going to hit play. I feel like this is a good time.
Yeah, beautiful time for it.
Waking and dreaming, blurring and stirring to slumber to wake again, spinning round. I'm going down. This rabbit hold on me, repeating, leaving the bitter taste in my mouth. So slipping the ground. My feet skating the limits of gravity. And can you get a hold of me? Your feet pumping and taking the words with me. Running the nightmare, living in this reality. Thinking that is enough, keep away the blood. Hands praying with the sub. Can I ever get enough? Can I ever be above? Can I ever soar high? Can I ever be mine again? Now I'm right here. now I'm running and running and running and running us down. And now I'm running and running and writing us down.
Any moment now, we will hear Minty D. She's muted though. That's not good at all. There we go.
I'm running, 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 running. I'm running, running, running.
Keep it kicking, Minty. Keep it kicking. Keep it kicking. Let's go.
There's like 1,000 different things going on here. There you go. Someone else take it.
Beautiful, Minty. Beautiful. And this is Jim. Take us away, Jim. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Vibe Union, baby.
I see you on the dance floor, you know I'm drowning in it, fool. Swimming in a pool of ecstasy at 4 a.m. Trying to find a better me, but you know that don't exist. Double bucket short, tipsy at the exit. Kick me out the border, up the Brexit. Yeah! Trying to go home, Uber on my phone. Get me back to my bubble so I can huddle. I wanna cruise on these drunken dreams. You know I'm a fiend for some nicotine. Kicking on by the beach, screeches on my ego. Teaching me this cycle is so toxic, but you cannot break it. Looking inside my soul, I'm never gonna make it to a cleaner life, so I'll take another drink. Binge drink the pain away. Binge drink the pain away. Take another pill. Drown in the screeching sound at 4 a.m.